Happy day 3. What's going on, B? What's going on, LBHT crew?
Happy for some people.
All right. Yes, we are back. Day 3 of the NFL draft is going on right now, and we're going to hang out for a little bit. We're not going to be here for the whole thing. I mean, it's going to be a while, but the Ravens just made a pick, and it was Tylen or Tillen.
I believe it's Thailand, but they are back on the clock now. I think they just traded up with the Cardinals, so we'll have to see who they take here. Brevin Jordan's still available. I think Stone Forsythe is still available at tackle. I mean, we'll see what they do.
Yeah. So shout out real quick to everybody that's joined the live stream. Poon Gent is in the house. What's going on, Poon Gent? Baja's in the house. Let's go. Yeah, he said, yeah, we double dipping. Our man Suge Knight is in the house. Suge Knight 323. Make sure you follow him on Twitch and TikTok. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, man. Good to see y'all. Felipe Marino is here. Yeah, he likes Tillen Ballers. That's what's up. So yeah, I mean, we're really here. We want to recap the first 2 days, and we'll cover the picks for day 3 as they come up. Let me fix this ticker here because it's a little off. Chris Hall's in the house. What's going on, Chris Hall?
Wait, maybe they traded back and the Cardinals traded up, so I don't think they're on the clock now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because our picks were supposed to be together, close together. Yeah. All right. So what we pick up, I wonder.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure it's nothing of great value. I mean, we're near the end of the 4th round.
Yeah, we got an extra 6th round pick or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go. That's fixed. All right. So, all right, man. I mean, we're here. Rounds 1, 2, and 3 have come and gone, and you guys saw us stream for 4 hours on day 1, and we didn't really get a chance to break it down. We had a lot of guests, and we appreciate everybody that came on. Shout out to Off the Record Podcast. Shout out to Ferris and Kayla from the Let's Get Ready Network. Shout out to our man E. He usually streams with us or records with us when we do UFC talk. And Suge, we're gonna get you on here too, man. Just look, we're gonna coordinate with you. I mean, we've been throwing these invites out at the very last minute, so I know it's been kind of hard.
Okay, so the Ravens traded 136 and 210 to Arizona for 160, so they moved back 24 spots and a 4th round pick next year. So that's not bad.
No, that ain't bad. Okay. I feel like they've gotten everybody that they really want to get realistically. Right?
Yeah.
We all say we like Brevin Jordan, but maybe they don't really see Brevin Jordan as somebody that
there's 32 people out there who don't really like Brevin Jordan that much.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's start with round 1. Okay. Let's just recap who the Panthers got and who the Ravens got. So the Panthers were picking 8th. They didn't trade back. They drafted J.C. Horn, right? Cornerback from, where did he go to school?
He went to what was it called? I was gonna say Tulsa.
Yeah. So J.C. Horn, top cornerback on in a lot of people's eyes. So they got a good one, I believe. Good player.
No, South Carolina, not Tulsa. South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, Baja.
Yeah, thank you, Baja.
Thank you, Baja. Appreciate that. And Off the Record is in the house. We were just talking about them joining us on round 1, man. Appreciate y'all coming through. If you haven't subscribed to them, subscribe to them. Off the Record Podcast. All right. So, good player, bad pick right there. All right. I'll let the Panthers fan break it down.
Yeah. So I'm very angry about that pick. Like, it's an awful pick, and it's got nothing to do with J.C. Horn. But what they did is they passed on Justin Fields, and they passed on Rashawn Slater because of Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
So why? Yeah. Well, I mean, the Sam Darnold, like, they passed on Rashawn Slater. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't like him all that much. They passed on another tackle later, in Tevin Jenkins in the 2nd round. But you're passing up the opportunity to draft a potential franchise quarterback because you traded for Sam Darnold, who's been in the league for 3 years and has not played well up to
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
Everyone says he's shown flashes, and that's fine. But after 3 years, you need to show more than flashes. I hear a lot of, oh, well, in a better situation. He's not really in a better situation. I mean, they have better wide receivers in Carolina. They have no offensive line whatsoever in Carolina at this point. So for me, it should have been Justin Fields right there. If you weren't going to take Justin Fields because you're so committed to Sam Darnold, then take Rashawn Slater, which is the problem I really have. Is I don't think they're committed to Sam Darnold either. Because if you were, you would be trying to protect him. But you're not trying to do that. You're just taking, who you think is the best player available at that point. But if you're going to pass on Justin Fields, take Rashawn Slater. And if you're not going to take Rashawn Slater, and you're planning on going corner and wide receiver with your first couple picks like you did, take Devontae Smith and then take a corner later.
Yeah. All right. So, okay. There's a little lag on your end, B, but look, StreamYard, they do what they do. Let's see if it clears up. Baja says J.C. Horn, we should have went left tackle. That's exactly what B is saying. Chris Hall says the Panthers pick was like Queen from last year. Good player, bad value. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with Patrick Queen, the player, man. He's a good player. I think he's going to be an excellent linebacker, but that wasn't the pick that we needed. That's not the player that we needed right there. T. Higgins is exactly who we needed. If we got T. Higgins right now, we wouldn't need a wide receiver. Now we got a wide receiver, and that's the next pick we're going to talk about is Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota, and a lot of Ravens flock wanted Rashad Bateman, and he's one of those guys that I definitely wouldn't mind getting, and we got him. The top guy that me and B liked was Kadarius Toney. He ended up going to the Giants, but
he was gone. So whatever.
Very happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. I have no complaints about Rashad Bateman.
Yeah.
We needed a wide receiver. We needed to get one in the first round, somebody that we knew was talented. Right, not some guy that we hope can develop into somebody, or do some of the things, and hopefully he'll be good enough. Like somebody that is talented. So, major props to the Ravens for recognizing that need and going and getting it. Mm-hmm. Right. Now,
Ian Book got drafted.
Who?
Ian Book, the quarterback out of Notre Dame, just went to New Orleans. I had picked him to go undrafted in our little draft challenge. So I'm not making the comeback that I was hoping for on day 3. That's all right, though. That's okay.
Yeah, we should probably plug. I mean, you can't sign up now, but we're doing a draft challenge now. And B tweeted out earlier who's in the lead. Mikey was in the lead on draft night on round 1. And then Ferris came roaring back to take the lead. So it's pretty close.
Yeah, Kingbird, De'Ami Brown was already drafted. He wasn't available for Baltimore. Yeah. He went to Washington.
Washington's got some good players over there, man. They got some good players. They just need a quarterback, and they can really do some damage. Yeah. Mikey had a slide. You had a little slide. That's all good. King of Pugo says Boykin might have caught a stray. Well, okay. I mean, we're trying to go in order, but we just drafted Tylen.
I think it's Tylen. I'm not sure.
All right, we're gonna go with Tylen Wallace. If we're wrong, we'll correct it later. So we've said previously that if the Ravens bring in some more wide receivers, the first person to take the L is going to be James Proche.
Yeah.
Okay? James Proche is a 6th round pick, and we like James Proche. I mean, we like him, but 6th round pick. Almost no production at all, right? Mm-hmm. In a special teamer, it's just going to be hard for him to keep his spot on the team over these other guys, right? I know Miles Boykin hasn't really produced a whole lot, but he's been starting for the most part, and they like Miles Boykin. They like him for the blocking, especially. So he's not in any danger of not making a team or getting cut. He's not in danger of that. He's going to lose a spot maybe in the starting lineup, sure. But he's not getting cut. James Proche is out of here.
And now, to be fair, I mean, he might have been out of there even before the Wallace pick, but
Yes.
I don't think he has really any shot of making it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it is very slim. He's going to have to go out there. I know he has great hands, but that's all he really has, and he's going to have to show up to camp and really just ball out every single day to where he can't be denied. And
yeah, King of Pugo says, "Nah, I'd keep Proche. Boykin had his chance." Let me ask you this: what kept James Proche from producing last year? He also had his chance. He didn't make it on the field.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's like I said before. If we drafted one of these guys in the first round, like he just not Proche doesn't have the same opportunities as a first round pick or a third round pick, right? Boykin was drafted in the third round. He's not going to get the same opportunity. They're not invested in him as much as those other guys. So I mean, okay, they like him for special teams. Tillon Wallace can come in there and do well on special teams, right? So if these, any of these guys that he get come in and can play well enough on special teams, then Proche really has no place, because right now there's no plans. Before we got all these guys, there's no plans for Proche to really take the field and be a part of this passing offense. So
no. You're looking at Watkins, Hollywood, Bateman, Duvernay, and now Boykin and Wallace. That's 6 guys. So I mean, Proche is not going to see the field as a wide receiver.
Yeah,
and I don't think they're going to keep him around just to be a special team or a return man.
Yeah. G-Star 007, thank you for joining the live stream. He likes Tylan Wallace. A lot of people do. I hope he can ball.
Wait, King, what I'm asking you is what kept Proche from getting a chance? Miles Boykin isn't good, right? Devin Duvernay didn't produce, right? They didn't have any other receiver outside of Hollywood Brown. So if he was good enough, he could have come in here and taken one of those spots. I'm saying, why didn't he? Why didn't he get on the field?
Yeah, I get what Puga is saying, and and we agree with that part. Like, Boykin has had enough chances to show what he can and can't do, and he's not the man. Like, don't get us wrong, but this isn't like this ain't Pop Warner, this ain't like Pee Wee football. Like, everybody doesn't get a turn. Like you have to do something to get the attention of the coaches to get that opportunity, and when you're drafted late, like, you have to do more than players that were drafted higher.
Yeah, all he had to outplay Boykin or Duvernay, and he didn't do it.
Yeah, so he didn't do that.
He's not going to be around.
Right. We brought in 3 more wide receivers.
Now maybe he can land on the practice squad. Maybe they can keep him there, but I don't see him on the 53-man roster.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, like, it's nothing personal against Proche. Zeke Hokage, man, I see you in here, man. I appreciate you coming through. My brother's glad to see y'all streaming. How you feeling, Jose, about the Ravens draft so far? Okay, so let's get back to our recap, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah. So we got the 8th pick. Panthers picked J.C. Horn. 27th pick, the Ravens picked Rashad Bateman. With the 31st pick, we got what's his real name? They said Jason Oweh. That's his middle name. Odafe Oweh.
Before we get to that, we have a comment here. I just want to address this real quick. Ewut Chira? I don't know.
Ewut Chira.
Today we draft a wide receiver too. Oh my God, Lamar Jackson have weapons now. No excuse. I've seen a few people say no excuse already. And like, how about we pump the brakes and see if these wide receivers can actually play before we declare the wide receiver position fixed?
Yeah, and Lamar doesn't need any excuses. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. There's like, what are you talking about? No excuse for? I mean, I could flip it around. The Ravens drafted a edge rusher in the first round. No excuses.
Yeah.
Speaking of edge rusher, Odafe Oweh. Odafe Oweh is who we.
Seems like a great kid.
Yeah, seems like a nice guy. Great athlete. Right, we all know he's a great athlete. Just one little problem. It doesn't look like he can play football. Okay.
let's be even more specific. It doesn't look like he can play football well.
Yeah,
like, he plays it.
Yeah,
he has a great time doing it. And
look,
made a career out of it at this point.
Look, you're gonna get different takes, man. You're gonna get different takes on this guy because he is a phenomenal athlete. But 0 sacks. I'm just gonna keep harping on that. I was on a live stream last night with Sonny from SCG Sports and Jose Verduzco and Raven C and Berlin BS, and like, you know, they're all starting to warm up to him, except for me and Sonny. And look, they're like, look, don't harp on the sacks thing. Don't harp on the sacks thing. But I'm gonna harp on it. We say here, we've been saying all offseason that there's a major hole at edge rusher because of sacks. Right? We had 2 players here that were good. Right? Matt Judon's a good player. Yannick Ngakoue is a good player. The reason why we didn't want to keep them and pay them is because they didn't get enough sacks. That's the only reason. And we spent a first-round pick on a guy who has 0 sacks. 0.
Well, just last season, he's sacked quarterbacks before. He knows what it's like.
Yeah.
He would try to. I see when I say no excuse, it's like Greg Roman should make more pass play. That's why I say no excuse. And I hear you on that. But I'm just saying, you know, these guys are rookies. They haven't played in the NFL yet. I mean, I like Rashad Bateman a lot. Yeah, I think that's a great pick. I like the Wallace pick as well. But we do have to wait and see for sure that they can actually play.
Sure. Yeah.
But before we can say just no excuse.
Absolutely.
I mean, what's up, Courtney Rogers?
Courtney Rogers, what's going on? Thank you for joining the live stream. Put some respect on the Nigerian Nightmare's name. But, we were just talking about this other day because, you know, we're big USC fans. Our man Kamaru Usman is called the Nigerian Nightmare. Christian Okoye was a Nigerian Nightmare. How come that's the only nickname Nigerians get, man? Like, we got to be more creative than that, man. Like this, you're not doing these Nigerians justice, okay? And look, we hope he turns into an absolute beast. Look, me and B like to be wrong about players we don't like on our teams. Okay, yes. We like to be wrong. Like, don't get us wrong. If we draft somebody or re-sign somebody and we say, man, that guy's gonna suck, we hope that we're wrong about that.
Listen, I hope Sam Darnold is a great player.
I hope Sam Darnold, Pat Eiflin, and Cam Robinson. I hope they go out there and turn their careers around. But
Cam Robinson would have been nice. They signed Cameron Irving.
Irving. Yeah. I keep saying Robinson.
Jonathan Washington and Donovan Sales. We see y'all D3. Thanks for coming through.
Oh, okay. What's going on? Appreciate y'all, man. Man, it's
Alpha
Saturday
Bro
afternoon.
Says Ferguson was a sack leader in college and he ain't that good. No, that's true.
That's true. So yes. Look, and shout out to Fred from Berlin BS because we had this discussion last night. Absolutely true. But Ferguson has given us some production, right? He was a sack leader in college, not that athletic, but he's still got some playing time. What we're saying so far about Oweh is he's going to take 2 to 3 years to develop, and some people are saying this year might be a redshirt year. So you spent a first round pick on a guy that can't even get on the field in his first year. We drafted Jalen Ferguson in the 3rd round. Okay, and he gave us more production. You're talking about drafting a guy in the first round that's giving you no production.
Yeah, you're talking about Jalen Ferguson hasn't done anything through 2 years, and you're expecting nothing from Oweh for his first couple of years, and you took him in the 1st round.
Right.
So that's why it's not a good pick. That's kind of the point.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I had no problem with Oweh if he was a 3rd round. Right. I mean, really projects you're supposed to take in the 4th round, but because his athletic profile is off the charts, I could understand 3rd round.
Yeah.
But 1st round, those guys need to be ready to play day one.
And more important, more than just the projects don't go in the 1st round thing, all I hear leading up to the draft from everyone is, best player available, don't draft for need, best player available. I want anybody to look me in the eye and tell me that they think Oweh was the best player available at 31.
Of course not. Of course he didn't. Everybody wanted Azeez Ojulari, right? That was the guy that we wanted. I don't know if y'all heard his interview. He talks a big game. Man, like I said, man, I hope it's one of those things where he needs to go to the right coaching staff that can really just have him clean up some things, and he's closer than we realize, and he turns out to be a monster. I hope that. I don't see it happening though.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the 2nd round here. I see we got a question from Jonathan Washington here. How I feel about Terrace Marshall. Well, I mean, if you've been watching, I'm not high on Terrace Marshall. I never have been. I don't see what everyone else sees in him. that aside, I mean, because obviously I could be wrong about that. That's whatever. I'm not mad at the pick, but you have, like, I wasn't high on him to begin with, and you have the medicals, would say he might have a knee problem that just is not going to go away, and he doesn't have a long time in the NFL. But I mean, all that aside, like, I'm gonna hope that his knee is fine, regardless of where he goes, right? So that pick is fine. My problem with that is that you traded down to get him. You traded out of drafting Tevin Jenkins when you don't have anything on the offensive line at this point. Taylor Moton is the only offensive lineman that you have that you can count on. They were sitting there on the clock, and it makes it even worse that they traded with Chicago, by the way. So Chicago came out with Justin Fields and Tevin Jenkins, which would have been an outstanding first 2 picks for Carolina.
Yeah, and I just don't see, if you're a Panthers fan, how you can be excited about getting J.C. Horn and Terrace Marshall when you could have had Justin Fields and a good tackle, right?
Yeah,
and a good tackle. It doesn't matter how you feel about
Terrace Marshall.
No, Darnold. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter how you feel about Darnold. It doesn't matter how you feel about Darnold. You don't believe he's better than Justin Fields, right?
Yeah, and for Carolina, they've made 5 trades so far. One of them was a trade up, to be fair, but it feels like they're making trades just to make trades. They're not even stockpiling picks. Like, they're just out there making deals.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get to these comments, but real quick, I see 30 people in here. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you're new here. If you're a regular, thank you for the support, man. Thank y'all, man. You guys have really been supporting us these last couple months. But if you want to continue to support, there are 3 ways you can do that. Right above me, you got patreon.com/LBHT show. Okay, we have a $3 tier and a $10 tier. Oh man, Coach is in the house. Coach Evans is in the house. Coach? Make sure you subscribe to Coach Evans, Sip 2 Tally Films, man. He's awesome as well. But yeah, patreon.com/LBHT show. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. we do a live stream. And right after the live stream, we have an overtime show that's open to all tiers, man. And we even send out the stream link if you want to come just hang out with us, man. Chop it up. We have a really good time. And when the NFL season starts, we're going to be doing a Pick'ems League. So for the $3 tier, you get to enter the Pick'ems League, and we're going to be giving out a trophy or a championship belt. We haven't decided yet. And then for the $10 tier, you can do the Pick'em League and our Fantasy Football League. And also, you're going to get one of these nice shiny coins right there. This is our challenge coin. It's our founder's coin. My light's bouncing off of it. All right. And those are limited. We only have a few left. So, sign up. And then also, if you're looking for a super chat, we don't have that enabled. So right above B, we use our Cash App, $LBHT show. All right. Leave a donation, leave your comment, and we will read it on air. And also, if you like the merch, if you like what you see here, you like that nice little symbol there, we got some goodies on our website. I'll put that on the screen real quick. lbht.com/shop. Okay. We got a lot of items on there, and we're constantly updating. So once again, man, appreciate you guys' support, and let's get to these comments. Solomon Reed, thank you for joining the live stream. He said, "What's good, lunch break? Y'all see we haven't touched a right tackle yet." I know, man.
Well, yeah. So we talked about it leading up to the draft. They're going with Villanueva at right tackle. Like, that's their plan. That's why they also haven't looked at center. They're going with Bradley Bozeman at center. So, kind of is what it is. I don't love Villanueva as a starting right tackle for Baltimore, but it's kind of it's happening. So
yeah. Tanja Bowman, what's going on, Tanja? Thank you for joining the live stream. Tanja's been she's been coming through, man. Appreciate you. What do we think this means for Boykin? It means he's not a starter anymore. That's what that means. I don't think he's getting cut.
Yeah, he'll just be a reserve.
Yeah. The person that we think is going to get cut is James Proche. He just hasn't had enough production, and he's a 6th round pick. There's no investment made in him, and they like Boykin. They like Boykin, but I think this is more talent on the team now. He's not going to be able to be a starter anymore. Deshaun is in the house. What's going on, Deshaun?
What's up, Deshaun?
Yo, we just sent Miles Boykin his packing papers. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I think it's Proche is the odd man out. But we'll see. There's competition now, for sure. There's competition, and if you like Proche, if you like Duvernay, you like those guys, they're going to have to step up now. They're going to have to step up because Hollywood has cemented his place. We know he can play, right? And I think he's going to be even better this year. Sammy Watkins is a better player than what we have. His thing is just injuries. So he's going to come in and bring a level of competition. And now you got Rashad Bateman, first round pick. So those guys already have a leg up on these other guys, right? Boykin, Duvernay, Proche. So and now you got Tylan Wallace in the mix. So there's competition there, and I love it. If you want to get on the field, you're going to have to show something.
Right, because and I see y'all talking about Boykin being out and Proche getting his shot. And the thing is, you're talking about a rookie in Rashad Bateman, like you said, and a rookie in Tylan Wallace, and a guy in Sammy Watkins who hasn't really been, very productive. I don't think that they're going to want to go with James Proche coming off that bench with no history at all, as opposed to a guy who they've had playing for the last couple of years who has given them, I mean, it's not much, but some production.
Yeah. And Nick the King, thank you for joining the live stream. The reason why Azeez Ojulari was not drafted was because he was injured.
We got an attitude pop going on here, man.
Yeah. Don't keep putting the same comment in there over and over and over, man. We'll get to your comment. If we don't, man, right above B. If you really gotta have your comment read and we keep missing it, hit up that Cash App. Okay, we won't miss that. The thing about Cash App is your comment will never go away. It will always be there, right? Yeah. So we will get to it. King of Pugo, did you read that one? By the any comment to OC? Any comment to OC would have had all these guys on the field at some point. Yeah, well,
Well, I mean, yes and no, right? Like, if you can't play, you can't play.
Yeah.
I mean, they see him in practice. They saw, every single week. And he was on the field. He got on the field a returner. And if they say, listen, this dude is not better than Devin Duvernay. This dude is not better than Miles Boykin. He's not better than Hollywood. He's not better than Willie Snead. He's not better than Des Bryant. Then he's not going to play.
Yeah, because, look, every fan base feels this way about their players. But you have to really look at it. I mean, look at it from the outside, right? You got a guy drafted in the 6th round. That says a lot right there. He's a 6th round pick. So, I mean, a lot of teams didn't think highly of him to begin with. And he only had 2 targets last year with 1 catch. Like, what are we really talking about here? Like, why are we saying we think he's going to be good? Like, what are you looking at other than his college tape to say, I think he's good enough to make the team and contribute?
Yeah, and his college tape. I mean, I didn't watch every one of his games. I watched several of his games before, when Baltimore drafted him. And yeah, he's got great hands, and that was about it.
Yeah.
So
Poon Gent, I got Poon Gent, who is a Browns fan. He said he's happy. Say, Andrew Berry. He likes Andrew Berry. He says he's the truth. One of the best GMs. Hope everyone's enjoying the draft. Who did they get? What did you guys get in the draft?
I have not even looked at Cleveland.
I can't,
at all.
but you know what though? He's right. Andrew Berry's been putting together a good team, man.
Yeah,
you got a strong team over there in Cleveland for sure, and they're gonna be competitive, and I cannot wait to play them.
They just drafted Tommy Togiai. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but the DT out of Ohio State. That's a good pick. Yeah, I like that pick. Yeah. But I did not even pay attention to what they got earlier in the draft because I was depressed.
I missed it too, and I was just over here fuming with StreamYard. Jonathan Washington Jr. thinks Boykin brings value if he's moved to tight end. A lot of people say that, man. Maybe I'll say that maybe because he is a good blocker, right? He has a size. But I don't know.
He doesn't have the size to play tight end though. Like and right now he's not blocking defensive ends and linebackers right now.
That's true.
Like he can't do it. He can't do that.
Yeah. But people think that.
I mean, if you want to just line him up there when he's running his routes, I mean, okay, you can try that out and see. But he's not gonna play tight end.
And Spirit of Ogun, thank you for joining the live stream, man. Appreciate you. He said same goes for Tevin Jenkins. He's saying that's why he dropped because of injuries.
I mean, I don't know that he dropped. I mean, he went in the top of the second.
Mm.
So
King Bird 56 says Bevan Jordan will be on the board, trade up to get come Ravens stops playing and get this dude. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Bevan Jordan, man. Like, I thought he'd be drafted a little bit higher, but I don't know. I know that's coach's guy. I know coach likes Bevan Jordan.
yeah, the U doesn't carry the same weight it used to, man.
Yeah. Edward George says if Boykin puts on 40 pounds. Yeah.
Oh, and Brevin Jordan is not on the board. He was just drafted
Who
by
drafted
the
him?
Houston Texans.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. King Tay says they got JOK. They calling him the Lamar stopper.
Yeah, I saw they got Newsome, I think is a good pick at corner, and the Owusu Koromoa. We'll see on him,
Yeah.
but
All right.
it's not. That's going to come down to coaching with that guy.
Yeah.
I hope he does well though.
Yep. Jonathan Washington says, yeah, they took
Yeah.
Jim. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. And G Star 007 says, we have to run more spread offense now. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what Greg Roman can do this year. I forgot the guy's name that put it in there earlier. He said no more excuses. I mean, they're adding talent now to take away those excuses.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll see. I'm trying to find out who posted that.
That was Iwip Chira.
Yeah. Ewip Chira. He said no more excuses. So that's exactly what he was referring to. Misko Milanovic. What's going on? Thank you for joining the live stream. Appreciate you.
Yeah, so I mean, we still kind of tailed off there. We were talking about Oweh, kind of. I think a bit of a waste there. Well, let me not say a waste. I hope he pans out, but a reach. He was not the best player available at 31. They had other needs that they could have filled at 31. But they didn't have a second round pick. Came back in the third round, and they got Ben Cleveland, the massive guard out of Georgia.
Giant, and they were ecstatic about it, man. They were so happy about it. So I feel like he's got to be really good, right? Like it's one of those players where they weren't sure if he was going to fall. Then they saw him falling. They're like, all right, let's see if we get him, and they got him, and they're really excited about it. So now, I'm just going to assume that they got that one right.
Yeah, well, that's the guy. He's been a great pass blocker throughout his career. I think they said he's given up 1 sack, and I think it was like 3 quarterback hits in his college career.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he's obviously got the power. He's apparently got some of that technique in the pass game. So I'm assuming that he's going to take over that left guard spot.
Yeah, and so we gotta break down. I'm gonna get to the comments in a second. I see some questions in there. We gotta break down. What we got going on there, because we have a lot of names on the roster, but have we filled our holes? I don't know. Like, look, okay, let's say Ben Cleveland comes in and wins that starting left guard job. Right, we gotta look at center now. So are we talking about Bradley Bozeman being center? Mm-hmm. I don't really feel comfortable saying, he's our guy. I mean, he's going into his 4th year.
You better get comfortable because there ain't no centers left.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I'm still nervous about that because he's going into his 4th year. He hasn't held down any starting position on that O-line, so I don't know what he does well. So this confidence they have in him all of a sudden, I hope they're right. I hope they're right. So it's looking like Bradley Bozeman, right guard Kevin Zeitler, so that's good, and then right tackle it looks like we're just gonna bring in Villanueva or that dude Kelly from Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and that should be fine. I think overall we should be okay.
Yeah, come September, I think their O-line will be fine.
All right, let's read a couple of these questions here. He just asked us what we thought about Ben Cleveland. Yeah, I think we got it right there. G Star 007 wants to know who has the best roster in the AFC North.
That would right now I'd still have to say Cleveland.
Yeah, I'd probably say Cleveland from top to bottom. I'll say
that's the best roster on paper.
Yeah.
If Rashad Bateman and Wallace can play, Baltimore's the best team in that division.
Yeah. Now, they have the best team on paper. I still would not pick them to beat the Ravens. King Bird 56 says, Jose and Brodny, You think the Ravens can get Julio Jones? What y'all think? At this point, I don't think they're going to go after him. I mean, they just drafted 2 wide receivers. I
They
would love
can.
it.
They've got more than enough picks to do it, but I don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah, I would still love it if they did that. They're sending a clear message that they've seen the light on offense.
And at this point, I'm not even going to crush him for not going after Julio at this point. Like
No.
you drafted Bateman, you drafted Wallace. Okay, you're putting in the effort there to see if these guys pan out.
Yeah, and these are guys that a lot of draft Twitter, a lot of analysts out there, they like these guys, right? So at least from that standpoint, we got some guys that look like they can play or they should be able to play. Jonathan Washington says, I need to see Lamar under center this year. I think G. Rowe forgot he's allowed to use different formations besides the pistol. Yeah.
Shaheen, what are we doing here, man? His quick reminder, Brodny made fun of that guy who was a Washington football fan for not having a quarterback while his team has Sam Darnold. First of all, no, I didn't. Okay. I made fun of him for having former Panthers quarterbacks and thinking they were good. Second, I know my team doesn't have a quarterback. That doesn't stop me from talking about anybody else.
You just remind me. Quan, yeah, you're talking about Quan from Off the Record. He actually wanted to come on today. He's running some errands right now. I'm actually going to send the invite out. In fact, I'll send it out to everybody from Off the Record if they want to come on. If you guys have time, you want to come through and just give your thoughts on the draft so far. Cool. If y'all busy, that's fine too. But I'm sending the
Spirit of Ogun. He's saying if Tristan Colon Castillo shows out in camp, he might hold down the center spot. If he shows out, I think he might not make the team, man.
Tristan Colon Castillo.
Yeah, I think he might be out.
I think it's going to be Bredesen, one of the Bens, Ben Bredesen or Ben Powers. One of those guys is going to be out.
Not Cleveland, though, right?
It better not be. Woo! If Cleveland got cut, oh man. Hold on, let me send this out.
But yeah, so the next pick for Baltimore in that third round was Brandon Stevens, the corner out of SMU. And I feel the same way with that pick that I do with Oweh in the first round, where it's just like there were better players available for you there. And also, this wasn't even a need, really. Like Baltimore is the deepest team in the league at corner. And this guy is a project as well. He's only played corner for a couple of years. I know there's some speculation that they might move him to safety. And I'm like, then you're really starting from ground zero with a guy that you drafted in the third round. I'm just not a fan of it. For them, I would have preferred that they, taken something else there. I mean, a center or something else and gone with that safety out of Florida State, Hamza. I'm going to butcher the last name, Nazirlin. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm sorry. But he's kind of like a Jeremy Chin type of player. And I think he's still available. But I think Brandon Stevens was also a reach. And I don't like drafting prospects with those valuable picks.
Yeah. Spirit of Ogun says if Tristan Colon Castillo shows out in camp, he might hold down the center spot. If he shows out, then yes, he could. He could. All
right, let me stop you there for just a second. I'm sorry, Shaheen. We are now in the you have to cash app to troll territory. All right, I just want to let you know.
So he ain't feeling good right now. They did, man, and okay, so we kind of went over what we drafted, each team drafted so far. We'll do some quick grades, overall grades so far. I know the draft is still going on. How would you grade overall the Panthers draft?
That's a tough one.
So J.C. Horn,
yeah, Terrace Marshall, Brady Christensen, and Tommy Tremble, and Chuba Hubbard. They just drafted Chuba Hubbard in the fourth. I'm gonna see if we're grading it on the players themselves, like the quality of the players themselves. I'd probably give them maybe a B-.
Yeah.
If we're grading,
I factor everything in.
Yeah, if we're factoring in everything, I mean, right now I'd have to give them a D.
Okay.
Like that J.C. Horn pick really kills the draft for me. because you're not addressing the biggest need on your team at offensive line. Because I'm not, I wanted them to take Justin Fields, but yeah, okay, if you love Sam Darnold, whatever, but then go with the left tackle, and they didn't do that, and then they traded out in the second round. They didn't get a tackle until the third round in Brady Christensen, and I don't think he's athletic enough to play tackle in the NFL. Then they drafted Tremble out of Notre Dame, who plays tight end, but he can't. He's not a receiver. He's a blocker. So really more of a fullback type. Yeah. And I just don't. I'm not into it. Not into it. Hubbard is a backup running back. That's fine. Terrace Marshall. I'm not super high on Terrace Marshall, but that's Joe Brady's guy. Everybody else loves him. So if he's healthy, that's fine. But yeah, J.C. Horn really. Passing on, let me not say J.C. Horn, passing on Slater and Fields at the top of the draft really hurts it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's fair. And if you're a Panthers fan or, whatever, you want to give a grade on that, go ahead and drop it in the chat. I see Kingbird already gave his grade for the Ravens. I'm about to give my grade right now. It's close to what Kingbird said, man. I'm going to give it a C. I was leaning towards C- to be honest after the first round, but I'll give it a C. I'll give it a C because we got Tylan Wallace, but good move getting Rashad Bateman. That was very strong and a little uncharacteristic of the Ravens historically because they don't like to go offense at skill position in the first round too often, but they did it because they recognized they need to get better there, and I think that's great. So props for that. I give an A for that. I give an A for that alone. But the very next pick, getting a raw talent at edge rusher, another position that we do need to work on. I don't think it's as dire of a need as most people think, but we do want to get better there. And you got a guy that's not realistically going to play for us this year, so I give that an F. I give that part an F. So that's a C, right? That averages out to be a C. And then you did the same thing in round 3, right? We got Ben Cleveland, a guy that looks like he can come right in and start for us, and that's great. And then, what's going on, Engraven? Shout out to Engraven, man. And make sure you guys are following Engraven vids as well, man. Engraven, man, I love that. I love that thumbnail you had for day one of the draft. No, I don't think he's gonna play this year. I don't. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm completely wrong about Oweh, but I think they got a great athlete who can't play football.
Yeah, I think he'll play. He's just not going to play well, and he's not going to be a starter. He's going to be buried in the rotation, and I don't think you're going to get any production out of him this year.
Think about it. His athletic profile is off the charts. Off the charts. He ran a 4.3 40, man. Ran a 4.3 40. What's his SPART score? Like the 99th percentile. It's crazy. If he was an average player, if he was an average player with that kind of athletic profile, he would be a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Right. So, and he went towards the end of the first round, and I don't think he would have went in the first round if we didn't get him. So,
there's no way they invest a first rounder and he don't play. I think he'll play. When they say he's not going to play, he's not going to be a starting guy or anything like that.
Yeah.
And listen, they invested a first round pick in Hayden Hurst, and he immediately lost his job.
See, that's the thing right there. He's a project, and you don't spend first round picks on projects. That's why I'm giving that pick an F. And like I said, I hope I'm completely wrong about him. I hope he balls out, but we got a project. Right, yeah. I can't give you a good grade for that. But overall, so far, I would say a C. We got a really good player in Rashad Bateman. We got a really good player in Ben Cleveland. 2 guys that can come right in and start. And then the other 2 picks are projects. They may not, they may turn out to be good, but right now they're projects. That corner that we got, he's played corner for what, 1 year?
2 years.
2 years? Okay. He was converted from a running
SMU.
back. Yeah. So. And Tylan Wallace was a good pick too. So, what do we think happens at wide receiver?
Everybody, I know you didn't say it, Engraven, but everybody trying to sign Miles Boykin's death warrant today, man.
Engraven, what do you think is going to happen at wide receiver? We want to know what do you think is going to happen at wide receiver? Do you think? Who's the odd man out in Engraven's opinion? Who's the odd man out? Cornell Russ, thank you for joining the live stream. He says Oweh will shock and awe a lot of folks. I hope so. Again, me and B love to be wrong about players we don't like on our teams. Okay,
Yeah.
we love to be wrong about that. All right. And Griffin said, "Nah, I didn't say it. He's scared for Boykin." He said Proche. He thinks Proche is going to be gone too. Yeah, we think it's Proche for sure. I think for sure Proche is gone. And that's not to say anything about him as a player, but when you're drafted in the 6th round, the odds are stacked against you. They haven't invested anything in you, and they brought in a whole bunch of players. Man, that's telling right there as far as what they think about Proche, right? So he has to come in there in camp and show out every single day at camp for them. It has to be Victor Cruz type of play.
And that might not be enough.
Because if you remember Victor Cruz was a practice squad guy. He had to show it 2 years in a row before they brought him up. So, I mean, yeah, and it still may not be enough. You're absolutely right. Proche, I don't think the Ravens would let Boykin go when he's the only wide receiver over 6 feet tall and he's a good blocker in the system. The blocking part, yes, I think they like.
G-Star says, I guess more 4 and 5 wide receiver sets to give everyone touches. Man, who do you think Greg Roman is? Like that'd be great. I would love to see that. I'm not expecting that. Yeah. They're out there talking that we're gonna evolve stuff, but we'll see.
Yeah. Edward George says James or Miles are on thin ice. I really think it's Proche. I don't think Boykin is in any trouble of losing his job. I mean, he was a starter for most of the season last year. He started over Duvernay. So if we're being realistic, the 2 guys that are in trouble, if there's 2 guys in trouble, one is Proche for sure. The other one would be Duvernay, right? And I don't think Duvernay is in any trouble losing his job. But if there was another wide receiver that could get cut, it would be Duvernay. Those are the 2 guys that have the least amount of production, and they rely on the least. They just brought in 3 more wide receivers, guys. So if 2 are gone, it's going to be those 2. And Craven says he loves how blunt we are.
I'm gonna disagree with you there. I think if they cut 2 guys, it will be Boykin. I think Duvernay showed enough in terms of his playmaking ability, a couple times last year for them to keep him over Boykin. Boykin hasn't really shown that, but I don't think either one of them are in any real danger of getting cut. I mean, look at Ravens fans out here, man. You get 1 wide receiver and you getting out the machete.
We got 3. We got Bateman, we got Tylen Wallace, and we brought in Sammy Watkins. So
did you not listen, P? We said very clearly that Duvernay is not gone. That's what we said.
First, P, thank you for joining the live stream. Appreciate you. Okay. No. I'm saying if there are going to be 2 gone, I would think Proche and Duvernay would be the ones to go. Yes. Engrave. I do think Duvernay is a lock, but I don't think he made more plays than Boykin did. He had that 1 kick return, right? And look, you and I agree. He has that kind of attitude, like he wants the ball and he wants to make something happen with it. For sure.
Miles Boykin looks like he's fighting with himself to catch the ball all the time. So and
But Duvernay looks like he's fighting with himself to locate the ball too.
That's true. That is true. And so maybe they just need to throw it to him from closer. Okay.
Yeah. But no, you're right though. You're right. I think if you get Duvernay in the right role, he'll thrive. But Boykin, it's like, what's his role? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know. Q Hut said Boykin. Man, he said Boykin.
Man, why you gotta be funky?
Yikes.
But yeah, ultimately, I don't think Boykin's gone. I don't think Duvernay has any trouble. Yeah, and Duvernay or Boykin was more productive. Duvernay looked more explosive on a couple plays because let's calm down. He didn't have much production either. Okay?
Yeah. So he says, "What's the point of having soldiers when you don't use them?" Yeah, okay.
That's right.
Graven says Watkins, Hollywood, Bateman, Duvernay, Wallace are locks. I think Boykin and Proche got that pressure on them for sure. Okay. Yeah, but like I said, like as far as playmaking, yeah, Duvernay has more potential in that area. But we love players that can block over here, and they love Boykins blocking. That's one thing that I know. They love him out there blocking. So
And Cornell Doof should be gone too. Wasn't it just a few months ago when everybody loved those receivers and Baltimore didn't need receivers?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, send Engraven a link just in case. I don't know what you're doing, Engraven. If you're just chilling, you don't want to hop on, that's fine. But we'll send you a link just in case you want to hop on. We're gonna be hanging out for a little bit. We're just giving a review of day 1 and 2, and just kind of keeping an eye on day 3. But yeah, no pressure, no pressure. Spirit of Ogun says,
I'll just put it in for the Ravens YouTube.
Okay, which is yeah. Anybody wants to hop on, go yeah. Which is why I much prefer Azeez Ojulari over Trayvon Moehrig or Trayvon Moehrig over Oweh. I understand the medical reports for Ojulari. However, I'll still take him. I guess we have to trust the Ravens on this one. Yeah, I mean, look, we ain't got no choice. He's on the team now. We ain't got no choice about that. I mean, we're hoping. I don't like to I don't like lying to myself, right? Like if I feel a certain way, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
But anybody that's on the team, every single player that's on the team, I'm rooting for them. If I'm wrong, that's a good thing if I'm wrong about it, right? But if you're asking me my opinion, I think we got a guy that isn't a good football player right now. It could change, and I think that's what they're banking on. I think they're looking at it and saying, we can make him a better player. We can coach him up. But I don't have faith in that either. This coaching staff I don't think they do a great job developing players, in my opinion. I don't. I think they do a great job with veterans, right? Veterans already know what to do, but I don't think as a whole they can take a guy like this and coach him up into a great player. That's just my opinion.
P asking if we sign Houston for sure. I think they're definitely it's Justin Houston or one of the other guys. I think it'll be Justin Houston, but I think they go and get an edge rusher for sure.
Okay. Graves says he's playing Super Smash. You must be playing with Carter. I understand. I understand, brother. Jonathan Washington Jr. says EDC, this wide receiver is fantastic. Great route runner, crisp footwork, big physical, great hands, and amazing IQ. G-Ro, can he block? EDC, no. G-Ro, wouldn't touch him.
That's right.
I don't know, man. I think G-Ro I think he made a case to get some talent over there, man, because this is, I mean, no matter how you feel about Harbaugh, this is Greg Roman's last chance to get it right, for sure, right? Mm-hmm. He is definitely on a hot seat. And when you're on a hot seat, you're going to make the case, hey, man, like you haven't done enough on this side of the ball for me, right? It's the same thing that Dean Pease did a few years ago when people were questioning him, and he was like, look, I need more players. You got to get me guys that can play. I need more veterans and this is and that. And they went and got everybody for him, right? Yeah. And what's going on, Living Legend? Appreciate you coming through. But I think Greg Roman kind of pounded the table this offseason and said, hey, man, get me some help. So they got him Sammy Watkins, a guy that he coached before, and they drafted 2 wide receivers. That's good. I got nothing bad to say about that. That's a good move.
And also, you're looking around the division, right? And Pittsburgh has Juju and Deontay Johnson and, the rookie they just drafted last year who's running away from fights, and I can't remember his name for whatever reason now. And James Washington.
Chase Claypool.
Yeah, Chase Claypool. Thank you. Cleveland's got Odell. They've got Jarvis Landry. They just brought in Austin Hooper. They just drafted a wide receiver yesterday or earlier today. Cincinnati has T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. They just picked up Jamar Chase. Like, I think it's the Ravens are looking at it and like, you can't stop these guys consistently, and you have to be able to fire back at some point. And I think that's the mistake that Carolina's making right now, going with J.C. Horn. You drafted Troy Pride. You have Dante Jackson already. You signed A.J. Bouye. You don't need J.C. Horn, really. You do need to be able to fire back on offense. And for them, that means protecting your quarterback so you can actually get the ball out.
Man, speaking of the Bengals, right, every time we bring up the Bengals around draft time, it reminds me of the year we drafted Lamar. Do you know how lucky we are? Do you know how lucky we got getting Lamar Jackson? Because we initially traded back. I was like, man, we should just draft him where we're at. And then we traded back, and I was like, oh man, like, New Orleans is going to get them. New Orleans took
Yeah.
that edge rusher, and then we drafted Hayden Hurst, and I was just like, man, what are we doing? And then the Bengals, I thought the Bengals were going to get Lamar because Andy Dalton. I was like, okay, he's not going to be there much longer, and they need a quarterback. And I was like, man, if the Bengals get Lamar Jackson, I'm going to be sick to my stomach, like physically sick. And they didn't get him. They got that tackle, and then we traded up and got him. I was just like, there were so many teams that could have gotten him that needed a quarterback, and they just passed on him. But can you imagine a team with Lamar Jackson and T. Higgins? And I mean, it probably wouldn't be Jamar Chase because they wouldn't be picking that high. But like, T. Higgins, I would be sick. I would be sick.
But listen, it's not much better. They got Joe Burrow. Once they put a line around him,
Billy Price,
it's going to be really difficult to slow down that offense.
Yes.
So
yeah,
but
that's
Baltimore,
my point.
Baltimore's doing it though. Third
right.
tight end.
Third
the
tight
guy
end
they bought who has 3 catches his whole career. I mean, I'm realistic in that thinking that this guy probably is going to make the team, but I want to see what Jacob Breeland can do out of Oregon. They picked him up last year. He had a torn ACL, so he didn't play at all, but he was on a tear at Oregon before he got hurt.
Yeah. That's another position that I don't really worry about for them. They get it right.
And listen, all y'all seem to want to see Miles Boykin play tight end, so there you go.
There you go.
I don't want to see it, but have at it.
Yeah. So what pick are they at now, B?
They are on pick. I just had it up too. It's 156. The Eagles are on the clock, then the Vikings, and then Carolina, then the Chargers, and then Baltimore.
Okay. All right.
So 5 picks away for Baltimore, a couple picks for Carolina.
Yeah. Overall, like I feel for Panthers Nation, man, and my brother over here, because I believed for a second. I was like, they are going to get Justin Fields. Like, they're going to do it.
I said, Fields and Slater are both going to be there for their pick. They can't mess this up.
Yeah, because that's the other thing too. If you believe in Sam Darnold, that's fine, but he still needs protection. And if you build a wall around him, and he turns out to not be the guy, or hey, everything cleared up with Deshaun Watson, let's go get him now. He's coming to a team that has a wall around him, right? Yeah. That's what you want, but you didn't do any of that.
King of Pugo, yes, that's one of my favorite things to talk about when we talk about drafting wide receivers in Baltimore. How like they've just been really bad at it, because even Hollywood, who's a decent enough player, he was the first wide receiver taken. He was the 5th best wide receiver out of that class, because it wasn't just McLaurin. It was also Deontay Johnson in Pittsburgh. It was also DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown. Yeah, were all still on the board when they took Hollywood.
Now, I'm not going to front. I'm not going to front on Boykin. Like, you were too. We were high on Boykin because our man, what's
Matt Waldman.
Matt Waldman does his rookie scouting report, and he's very thorough. He's very good scout. He was very high on Boykin. Boykin was one of his top wide receivers. And Matt Harmon from Reception Perception was also high on Boykin. Mm-hmm. So when we got him in the 3rd round, I thought we were going to turn up at wide receiver, right? Yeah. But yeah.
After Boykin, no, Washington. He was picked in the second round. Boykin was in the 3rd.
Yeah.
All four of those guys I mentioned were picked before Boykin, I believe.
Yeah. Look, I like Hollywood. I think he's going to be good. But right now, I mean, DK and AJ Brown are better wide receivers. So it's we could have had those guys.
Like the only one you can really argue is Deontay Johnson, because he's got the drops, this past season. But I mean, I think he's been a better player too.
Yeah.
But I still believe fully in Hollywood. I think he's going to be a good player for a long time. He's got off to a slower start, and I don't think that that's not all his fault, obviously.
And I'll say this, right? How I feel about Eric DaCosta, right? He hasn't done enough yet to get the NEDC We Trust moniker that he gets, right? That's Ozzy's thing. But I remain neutral. I just want to see him, go out there and make good moves. I do like the more of a dedication he's put into the wide receiver core.
You know,
Right?
because I was going to say, you say that it's not that Baltimore doesn't really draft wide receivers, and for a long time that was true.
Yep.
But since 2018, nobody has drafted more wide receivers than Baltimore. They're just not good at it.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully they hit this year on those two guys.
But you know what? You keep trying. You keep you keep making the investment, and it'll start to pay off. So I like the aggressiveness. I like it.
Can't be wrong forever.
No. And also, this is why. Oh,
What's
Godson's
up,
in the
Godson?
house. What's going on? Appreciate you coming through. And also, this is why. Another reason why I think not just Greg Roman, Harbaugh, like this whole coaching staff is going to be in trouble if these guys don't produce, because we are drafting a lot of players. How many draft picks do we have in this draft? We
In this draft, I mean, that's not
8.
over yet, but it was. I can't remember exactly how many.
I think. Well, we traded
2
one.
firsts, 2 thirds. I don't know how many they had in the fourth here.
Yeah, I think 2. I could be wrong.
Up here. They have
Jazzy JJ, what's going on, man? You didn't miss anything, man. We're just reviewing days 1 and 2, and we're just kind of talking about day 3 as it happens.
Right now. They have 8 picks.
Okay. G-Star007 said 9 picks before they traded. So 8 picks. So we had 19 picks his first 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going into this draft. He drafted 19 players plus the 8 picks from this year. That's 27 players this man has drafted in 3 years. And how many of them have worked out so far, right? If these guys don't show anything, he's not going to be sitting there saying, man, I'm bad at this job. He's going to be saying, man, these coaches aren't doing their job and getting the most out of the players that we know can play. Yeah. So it's not just G-Road that has to do something, man. This whole coaching staff better start making these guys produce.
Yeah. King, we really like the Ben Cleveland pick. I feel like he's probably going to be the starting left guard day 1. I think that was a nice pickup. But this is always my problem with trading back, and a lot of people love trading back. Oh, get more picks, get more dart throws, and all this stuff, right? And they've drafted Ben Powers, Ben Bredesen, Tyree Phillips, and now Ben Cleveland to fill one spot. And I'm just like, why don't you just stay where you're at and draft a good player to begin with?
Shaheen just likes fighting with us, man. Hollywood Brown's average at best, and he drops too many passes.
I didn't get no email from Cash App. Take that
down. He's not average at best. He's done a pretty good job his first 2 years in the league, and the third year for wide receivers is really where they start to break out. And he'll be over 1,000 yards this year. I have no doubt about it, and probably double-digit touchdowns. Adding wide receivers doesn't decrease your chances to get touchdowns and yards, right? Like it gets you more open. And he has big playability, and if the defense isn't focused on him, I think there's more opportunities for him to make big plays for us.
The Steelers drafted a dude named Isaiah Loudermilk out of Wisconsin, and there's nothing more on brand than that.
Nothing says Pittsburgh like Loudermilk.
I do see that, Jonathan, that Carolina got Davion Nixon out of the DT out of Iowa. Don't know much about him, but they needed some depth there.
Yeah. We need depth there too, right?
Yeah.
Well, we need some future replacements.
You need Tonga out of BYU is what you need.
I want that guy from USC. I forget his name.
Tufele? He's gone. Yeah. Long gone.
Oh man,
he was the first pick today. Marky Mark, how do I feel about Terrace Marshall? I feel like I wouldn't have drafted him, but whatever. I mean, if they were going to go,
he'd be a good player though.
If they were going to go wide receiver, my thing was just take Devontae Smith at 8. So he's going to make a bigger impact than J.C. Horn.
I want you guys to put in the chat, how do you grade the draft so far for your prospective teams? If you're a Ravens fan, put your grade. Panthers, or I know Putin Jensen's in here, he's a Cleveland fan. Put your grades for the draft and put your team in there. If it's not Ravens, it's majority Ravens here, I know. But if you're a fan of another team, just put it in there. And also, real quick, man, make sure you guys are hitting that like button. If you're new, please make sure you hit the subscribe button if you enjoy the content. We're constantly putting out stuff. We do a live stream every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And Godson says A plus. King of Poodle says B minus. Yeah, and we do a lot of videos in between. So yeah.
And Baltimore is on the clock.
Okay, we are on the clock. Godson says we got to go JJ safety. Who's
Jamar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see who else is available here.
Jonathan Washington says Ravens solid B minus or C plus, mainly for the Bateman and Cleveland pick. Yeah, although I have high hope for Oweh. Yeah, man. Like I said, I don't want to sound like a downer on Oweh, man. But I mean, 0 sacks is alarming. There's no guys, man. Listen, there is no bigger red flag than a guy that can't play. Yeah. And 0 sacks when you have that kind of athletic profile and no injuries screams that he can't play. And I watched some of his tape. I'm not going to act like I've seen his whole game tape. But I watched the tape against him in Ohio State, and he got pushed around. And it's just one tape I looked at. But I mean, don't scream out to me that he could do anything. I mean, tackles for loss. What are his tackles for loss? I gotta go back and look. But I don't think
it was like 13.5 for the 3 years. 13.5 total. Like, I mean, like, now granted, yeah, we know he's raw. And yeah, when you have those kind of athletic gifts, everybody like say, oh, you can't teach, athleticism, and that's true. But most of the time you can't teach technique either at the NFL level.
And for people
hopefully he works out, but
and for people that are saying that it could take 2 to 3 years for him to develop, and you might be right. Jalen Ferguson is going to his 3rd year. What if he breaks out this year? What are you gonna say then? What are you gonna say? I mean,
actually, he says he don't live in the U.S. He can't use Cash App. He would if he could. Well, appreciate the thoughts, but you gotta figure it out, my man. Okay,
that's okay, Shaheen. That's quite all right, because right above me, patreon.com/LBHT show, they have various forms of payment. Okay, and for as little as $3 a month, man, you can type away, and you can even join the overtime show, and you can come on screen and give us your thoughts in person.
Oh, corner out of Ohio State, Sean Wade. Yeah. Okay.
2 corners?
I guess.
2 corners?
Are we cutting Imam Marshall now?
I mean, look, I'm not going to get too emotional on day 3, right? But I don't know. I just.
Well, no, but it's just the thing is, like, they don't have spots for corners. They just don't, and they've drafted 2 now. So yeah, I would assume at this point that they're trying to move the other guy to safety. Good luck. But you still don't have to
move him, or are they trying to move Imam Marshall to safety?
Well, I mean, we'll see, I guess.
And why are they drafting cornerbacks and not safeties?
Right.
Yeah, Spirit of Ogun agrees with me, man. He feels the same way. I hope he proves us wrong. I do, man. I am rooting for him. Like I said, I don't want to come off like a hater. I'm not hating. I'm just calling like I see it. I see a guy that's not good at football right now, but I absolutely hope he proves us wrong. I hope he can come in there day 1 and be a monster. I'm going to be rooting for him. Adeep Mahmood, thank you for joining the live stream. Sean Wade could be a steal. He was projected as a 1st rounder a couple years ago.
But it's a couple years later now. Like, and I see you say he's a big slot guy and all this, and that's fine. And I would be like, yeah, go ahead and get those guys if they didn't already say we're keeping Tavon Young and we're keeping Jimmy Smith. Yeah. That's the problem there. They don't have room for corners on the roster.
Was that you?
We'll see.
They cut the grass out there?
Cutting the grass. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but okay. So that's the next question. We asked earlier who's the odd man out? Who's the odd man out at wide receiver? Who's going to be the odd man out at corner?
We just got a Cash App here. Let me read the comment. This is for please make me feel better about the Stevens pick. I cannot. So sorry. I apologize. This is from Darren.
Darren, okay. Thank you, Darren. I appreciate that. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I don't know much about the guy, Somebody's got to be out at corner though. So we have, I mean, obviously you got Marlon, you got MP Juice Man, you got Jimmy Smith, Tavon Young. Those are your 4 locks for sure, right? Unless Tavon Young just gets hurt again, he's not going to get cut. He's very good still. in my opinion, I think he's going to be very good. So you got your 4 corners right there, and then
Yeah.
you got Anthony Averett,
Mm-hmm.
Iman Marshall, the guy we just
Khalil
drafted.
Dorsey, Chris Westry, Brandon Stevens, and now Sean Wade. That's the list for corners.
Man,
So,
that's a
and then
lot.
they've got Deshaun Elliott, Chuck Clark, Jordan Richards, Nigel Warrior,
Nigel
and
Warrior.
Anthony Levine at safety.
That's a lot of DBs.
Yeah, it's too many DBs.
Yeah, yeah. So when Kingbird asked about Julio Jones, man, why not? Go get him. Go get him. G Star 77 said he wanted Stone Forsythe. Yeah, 300-pound tackle. Hey, if you watched our show on Wednesday, we did our mock draft. We got Stone Forsythe, right? We actually traded up to 7th and drafted Devontae Smith and still end up getting Stone Forsythe in the 3rd round.
But from what I hear about Stone, he's not a great run blocker, which means I think he's probably not on their board very high.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Blue, man, I don't know. Why would we pick up another CB? I don't know. Well, I do know, because I think we're at the point where they don't really they don't really have 200 draftable players on
Right.
their list. I think we're at the point where they don't really have a lot of value in what's left. Like, they're looking at guys that maybe could turn into something. So they're just taking flyers on guys, which is why they're trading back and trading out, trading for picks for next year. And they have their roster set in their mind. They already know which tackle they're going to sign after the draft, whether it's Villanueva or what's the other guy's name? It's something Kelly.
Kelly.
Brandon Kelly? Is it
Dennis, I believe.
Dennis Kelly. Dennis Kelly or Villanueva. One of those two is going to be signed. Same thing at edge rusher. I think that's why they felt comfortable taking Oweh, even with the first pick. Because the thing with Oweh is that's a definite boomer bust. If you can get him just some basic skills, some basic technique, he could be a nightmare for sure, right? He could be a nightmare, and I think they're banking on that. I wouldn't if I were them, but they're banking on that. But I think for the most part, they have all the positions in their mind filled. So now they're just taking flyers. Don Vassell says goodbye, Jimmy. Well, they just re-signed Jimmy. He's not going anywhere. He's going to play out this year. He's not getting cut.
Yeah, and I certainly wouldn't be cutting him over a project 3rd rounder and a 5th rounder.
Yeah, yeah. P says, here we go, changing player position. They're going to try and move people around, and it doesn't work for them.
Yeah, but again, 5th round, it's kind of whatever at this point.
Yeah.
It seems like they've, like you said, it seems like they've made up their mind that they're not looking for a rookie right tackle. I think it's going to be Villanueva, and then Tyree Phillips will be the backup. So yeah, these are actual just dart throws right now.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So wait. So when's our next pick? That was our 2nd, 4th round pick.
No, that was
we
a
have a
5th round pick. Hold on. Let's see where they are in the order here.
So we won't be streaming for the whole draft. But yeah, we'll hang around for a little bit. We'll answer some questions, and we'll give our thoughts on everything. And we may or may not have some guests.
Are 10 picks away. They're
10
on
picks
the
away?
board again. Carolina is 5 picks away.
All right, yeah. We'll hang out. Yeah. Also, see if Rashad and David, send them a message too. Just tell them, it's last minute. We do this all the time, guys. We send out stuff at the last minute to people, see if they want to hop on. No expectations, but we'll hang out, and if some people wanted to join, we'll have some guests. If not, we'll call it a day, and we'll be putting out some videos, and we'll be doing our live stream on Wednesday. Again, if you're new here, every Wednesday night, 7 p.m., that's when we do our live stream. And we talk about everything. We talk about football, lots of MMA, NBA. The NBA playoffs about to start. We're going to be doing some live stream for the playoffs. So stay tuned for that. But, yeah. So, hold on. Let me read a thing here from Jonathan Washington. Iman is out. Iman is out the door, I'm guessing. Ravens go with Marlowe, Marcus, Jimmy, Tavon, Averett, Wade. Okay. these guys here, I don't know. These are the positions that even though we drafted them, doesn't mean they're gonna make the team. They could easily just get cut if they don't work out. And also, you got this. Be on the lookout. Some of these guys might be drafted for their special teams play, which is another reason why I think James Proche is on his way out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yoda Bear says he's a slot corner. Can't trust Tavon.
Yeah, but then get rid of him. That's my thing is like they don't have spots at this point. Like Tavon's been hurt a lot. Then don't keep him around. Don't redo his contract. Don't bring him back. Don't bring back Jimmy if you're concerned about his injuries. They brought back both of them, and so like it's not an issue with the talent of Shaun Wade or anything. It's just that you can't keep all of those players. What's up, Garnett?
What's going on, Garnett West? In the house, Garnett. What are your thoughts on the draft so far?
I know Garnett is still flying high off that Rashad Bateman pick.
Rashad Bateman, it was his guy. Garnett has been screaming Rashad Bateman from day one. Day one. All right. I think he liked Rashad Bateman better than Devontae Smith. Am I right? I think he did.
I think he might have. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, guess what, Garnett? I like him better than Devontae Smith now too. I'm happy about it, man. Like I said, I wanted us to be aggressive and try to trade up and get Devontae or JMR or one of those guys, right? I knew they weren't going to do it, but to get Rashad Bateman in the first round, yeah. See, he liked him better. Yeah. Look, I'm happy. I got nothing bad to say about it, man. Like we're making the investment, and it's going to pay off, man. It's going to pay off. I think Rashad Bateman and Hollywood Brown are going to be two really good wide receivers for us, and that's what we needed to do, right? I still wanted us to sign AB, right? Because there's no such thing as too much talent on offense, right? Go out there and be unstoppable,
Yeah.
I still wouldn't mind him getting Julio. Like it's not too much. Right, go overkill on offense. If you get Julio, like what's the negative in that? Aiden Brown, thank you for joining the live stream. Don't mind DB depth. I remember against the Browns, everyone was hurt, and we had Levine covering Rashad Higgins. Yeah, and we won.
Yeah. They've already got corner depth. Like if you get hit with injuries as hard as Baltimore did last year at that group, there's nothing you can do about that. Like drafting these guys isn't going to take care of that. Like they're just gonna get rid of a couple of the corners they have now. So if they get hit with those kind of injuries again, like it's still gonna look like that.
So I would say he felt like Ray Lewis at the divisional round playoff game against the Broncos. That was an emotional game for sure. Yeah. So DB. Okay, let's recap we can just go corner. We don't have to go all DBs. All right. Marlon Humphrey, MP Juice Man, Jimmy Smith, Tavon Young, Iman Marshall. That's 5. Anthony Averett. Who else was it?
They've got a couple of guys here: Khalil Dorsey, Chris Westry, and then the 2 guys they drafted.
That's 10 cornerbacks. They're not all going to make the team. So some of these guys that we're drafting now are just going to be cut. Let's just be real about it. The 2 guys we just drafted they could be cut. They could be cut.
But Brandon Stevens isn't getting cut. He's a 3rd round pick. He's going to be there. Yeah. Wade. I think it's just likely they'll cut, like somebody said, Iman Marshall or one of the other guys. Yeah. But you're just, you're replacing young players with young players. You don't really know what you got. You're just hoping at that point.
Yeah. They'll keep some extra ones just because of the injury aspect of it, but they're not all making the team.
Is Devontae Harris still there? Is that who it is? I thought he was. Garnett says they might have a replacement for Tavon and Harris.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Joseph Cataret. This was a pick for next year. Not going to find a starter at this point in the draft. True. We can't count on Jimmy or Tavon to stay healthy for a 17-game season. Have the 11th, 12th best DBs on the roster. Pick for the future and also depth. Yeah, for sure. Excuse me. Yeah, and I think they are factoring the fact that Jimmy Smith's not going to play. He's not going to give you 17 games. I think they know that, and they're not sure about Tavon Young. They obviously still like him. That's why they kept him on the team. He hasn't played for us in like 3 years.
Right, because again, we're not saying that these guys are bad or bad picks. It's that they don't have room to keep these guys. Like they've already got, the deepest cornerback room in the NFL. They already have that. It's just that last year they got hit with a ton of injuries. And, it happens. There's nothing that you can do about that. You can't prepare for that. You can't carry that many corners.
Yeah.
But, we'll see who they really like, I guess. Garnett says Chris Westry could be something special. 6'4" corner running a 4.34. I mean, that's nice. I mean, got to see if he can cover anybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dante Jackson ran pretty fast too, and I saw him using all that speed trailing behind a 98-yard touchdown last year, and then he blamed the coach.
Chris Westry?
Yeah.
He's still available?
No, he's on the team.
Oh, he's on the team. One, a 4.34. Look, we all love speed. I mean, and that's not a negative, right? But the most important thing is, can you play the game?
Yeah.
Can you play the game? Because being able to play will get you a lot further, right? If you had to pick one or the other, that's what these coaches say all the time. And it's just coach speak, right? It's from the book of cliches. I just want a football player, but there is some truth to that, right? When you know what position you need to be in on the field, you can read an offense. You know what route they're going to run. That matters more than just pure athleticism or speed, right? Mm-hmm. If you can get a guy that can put both of it together, then you got somebody special. But having a good football player is key, and we see examples of that on our team. I mean, that's what hold on, B.
That is Jacob Ninja King making a special guest appearance.
That's a combination of Jacob, David, Anita, like the whole crew is here. All my kids are here. That's a example of our linebacking core. Like Patrick Queen is a natural talent. Harrison is a good talent, but LJ Ford is a football player, which is why Harris can't get on the field, because LJ Ford is not going to let him get on the field. Like he's never out of position. He's a good tackler. He's a good football player, but I don't think he's like a great talent or anything like that. Garnett West says he'll look at him being able to match up against tight ends. Okay. Jonathan Washington says Ravens need to use one of their last 2 picks addressing D tackle. I agree. It'll be good to have more depth behind Calais and Brandon Williams. That also, we need replacements.
Yeah, not so much the depth. They need to replace specifically Brandon Williams, but they need to replace both of them.
Yeah, after this year, I don't know. I can't see both of them being on the team.
I can't see either of them being on the team.
That's what I meant. Like, either honestly. One. I can't. Yeah, that's what I meant. I can't see either one of them being on the team after this year. So yeah, we're gonna have to replace them. All right, we got our first guest. Maybe our last guest, depending on how long we stream. Our man Mikey from Off the Record Podcast. Mike, what's going on?
What's up, man? I had to, my bad. I was watching y'all as you let me in, so I had to quickly cut that off. But
what's going on, Mikey?
What's going on, guys?
So what's your evaluation of the? Go ahead.
I'm not feeling Sean.
Oh, well, which one?
Sean Wade.
Oh, Wade. Okay. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that kid. I've never been. So, I mean, maybe he'll end up being a better pro, but I felt like he was that guy who had all the hoopla, but like every time I watched him play, like he would get destroyed, in my opinion, against some of the top flight talent or players in the Big Ten or whatever. It felt like he would be getting crushed out there.
Hey, real quick, Mike, are you using your mic? Yeah. Make sure your mic is turned on. Yeah. I saw you holding your mic, but I think you're using your computer audio. because StreamYard likes to play tricks on us.
Glock wants to know if we think that Devin Duvernay will get that wide receiver 4 spot. I think probably it will.
Wide receiver 4.
Yeah, we'll have to see what Wallace looks like in training camp and whatnot. But I think starting out, it'll be Duvernay.
That better?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah. I forgot about old StreamYard.
Yeah. Because it won't save your settings. I've learned that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna read this. Joseph says practices between the wide receiver group and the DB group is going to be fierce with all the players trying to make the roster. That is true. Mm-hmm. That could also be a factor. Iron sharpens iron, even if the iron isn't elite.
I like the idea of elite iron. Yeah, no, it's great to see that in Baltimore. I think it's been a long time since they've really been able to be like, we've got some wide receivers that can challenge these DBs in practice. And I think Rashad Bateman is going to be winning most of the time. We'll see on Wallace and Hollywood in them, but I think they got a good one in Rashad.
Yeah. So
competition is a good thing, especially for that wide receiver room. They needed it. I think those guys kind of, the Boykins and the young guys that were coming. I think they kind of felt like no matter what, we making this team because this room is kind of whack. So that competition is definitely going to be a good thing.
Well, we know Sammy Watkins feels that way because he already said that they can't run routes.
Yeah, he said they can't get open. So this has been a popular topic with the chat. Like, who do you think Boykin's going to be out?
No, I agree with you guys. I think Boykins he'll be there. I think it's Proche that has he's the one that's going to be looking behind his back.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's the younger guy, but like I agree with everything you guys said. Like, Boykin has shown some production. You know what I mean? It might not have been to what we wanted or was expecting him to be, but I mean, he's shown some. What did he have? How many touchdowns did he have last year? It was at least 4 or 5.
Boykin had 4.
Yeah. So I mean, I personally, I would keep him if it came down to him or Proche or Duvernay, one of the young guys. I would go with Boykin.
Yeah.
So Glock is asking this year if Lamar has a down year again. Do you think the Ravens will hold back on paying him? I don't really think he had a down year last year. I mean, it wasn't as good as his MVP year. Obviously, he's probably never going to have that kind of year again. You can't really hold people to like the standard of their absolute best year.
Right.
But I think the dip in production that you saw from Lamar last year was more to do with the fact that, again, they didn't have much talent at wide receiver and they couldn't protect him, unlike the years before. If they fix the O-line and they've brought these receivers in, he's going to have a great year. But let's say if he doesn't, no, they don't hold back. They'll still pay.
I mean, a bad year for him is 26 touchdowns, 26 passing touchdowns, right? And he missed a game. You know what I mean? Like, he was just 4 touchdowns away from having 30 touchdown season, man. Like, if that's his down year, that's not a problem.
Right.
King of Pugo coming for Boykin again. Like that's why you're here today.
Pugo wants him off the team now.
Listen, King. Neither has James Proche, and he's had the opportunity.
That's the thing right there. That's the thing. Proche only had 2 targets and 1 catch. That's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing. Yeah. And you're talking about a coaching staff. Look, they drafted him in the 6th round. Right, they've seen him in practice. He's gotten in on a few snaps. He's on special teams. Like, they've evaluated him. This isn't, like I said before, it's not Pop Warner. It's not where it's like, okay, well, now you get a turn. It doesn't work that way. They evaluate you based off of what they've seen, and if you haven't impressed them, especially when you brought in 3 new wide receivers, yeah, man, it's just an uphill battle. So he'll go into camp, and he's gonna have to really show that he can outperform a good chunk of those guys in order to make the roster. So it's going to be tough.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, you look at last season, right? The fact that the Ravens had to go and look at somebody like Des Bryant as late as they did, you know what I mean? That tells you, like, these guys weren't showing them much, you know what I mean? Because,
right.
I mean, it wasn't like Des was, you know,
That's his desk.
yeah, like so the fact that he could come in and take some snaps from you at that point in time when he did, I mean, I think that tells you like this kid wasn't showing much in practice and stuff like that. And I think, I mean, they know it. Like it's not like these guys. I know we put a lot on Roman and rightfully so, but these guys they evaluating these dudes every day in practice, especially these young cats, you know, because they know they of course they want them to be able to shine. Like they want nothing more than one of these draft picks to hit, especially at the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
So it shows that it just wasn't he wasn't showing much there.
Glock asks, how does Patrick Ricard get more playing time than Devin and Boykin? Hopefully we don't see him on the field that much this season. The reason is because he's a better player than those guys.
Yeah.
Like I'm not one for using fullbacks in 2021, but Pat Ricard is a much better player than those guys.
Whoa, just a load. This isn't nice. Hashtag defund Miles Boykin. What? Man.
Listen, let that man keep his money.
He said Lamar will be just fine. We just need our coaches to know how to use our new very good weapons. Yeah, I mean, that's part of the problem too. I mean, you can't stress that enough that coaches got to do their job, and they haven't been up to this point. Yes, Roman evaluating the wide receiver room is where the mistakes lie.
I mean, listen, the entire NFL evaluated him, and he went in the 6th round.
Yeah.
Like it kind of is what it is, man. Like, he hasn't done anything to change anybody's mind.
Ellie, thank you for joining the live stream. Stone, did he get drafted?
No, I believe he's still available. Jamar Johnson just got drafted a few picks ago.
Okay. And Mr. Rose is in the house. Thank you for joining the live stream.
What's up, Mr. Rose?
Appreciate y'all coming through, man.
Carolina just took a corner, Keith Taylor. Glad to see we're still taking corners in this round, even though they had to burn one on the number 8 overall pick instead of drafting a franchise quarterback or a left tackle. That's fine.
Yeah,
that is just fine.
Deep Mahmood, he said Forsythe might be a bad run blocker. That's the knock on him. That he's not a good run blocker. So that might be why he's still out there. I mean, why we didn't get him in, at least.
So 2 more picks before Baltimore. We got Cleveland and the Rams are coming up here.
Okay.
What you looking for now, Jose?
At this point, nothing. I don't think anybody that they're getting right now is anybody they really believe in. They're just taking flyers on guys. But I would just say O-line. I still go for Stone Forsythe, right? Because I don't think I don't think we can maintain the offense that we run right now. Mm-hmm. So looking for guys that are good at in a run department, I don't think that's something that we need to worry about down the road. Because one way or another, we're going to get off of this run-heavy offense. They're about to sign Lamar to a long-term deal. They're going to invest a lot in him, and they got to get his carries down, right? They can't keep running him as much as they do. They're going to have to be, at the very least, a more balanced team, passing and running. So I don't care about guys that are good in run blocking. I don't. We need to get off of that. So if he's a good blocker, pass blocker, get him.
Yeah.
So Garnett saying, go get a real damn center or tackle. There aren't any real centers left.
No, there aren't.
To get tackle. I mean, I think there might be.
That's what we should have done in the first round instead of getting a project. We should have gotten a center.
Kind of surprised Deontay Brown is still there. But right now, let me just read off the ESPN who they have as the best available. Tay Gowan, the corner out of UCF. Shai Smith out of South Carolina, the wide receiver. Cornerback Shakur Brown out of Michigan State. Wide receiver Cade Johnson out of South Dakota State. Richard LeCount, safety out of Georgia. Trey Smith, the guard out of Tennessee. And my guy Hamza, I don't know how to say his last name, the safety out of Florida State.
Yeah. Garnett says Bozeman was a center that went to left guard and now about to move back to center. Think about what I just said. No, we said that. We said that. He's going into his 4th year in the league. He came in the same year as Lamar, and he hasn't started.
They keep looking at him. They're like, yo, he has to be good at something.
Right. So, no, I don't feel comfortable about him starting anywhere, whether it's center or guard, and they still can't commit now. They're like, oh, he's going to be a good left guard or maybe a center. So you don't even know what he can play yet. going into his 4th year. I don't feel good about that.
They love that guy, man.
Yeah, he must have great character.
Yeah. They love him here, yo. They really, really do.
Yeah.
See, Joseph asked, do you think it would be more beneficial for the young receivers to play with McSorley or Huntley in the preseason? And who would you guys prefer as the backup? That is definitely Huntley. Trace McSorley cannot play. Please don't bring that around here.
I keep forgetting Trace McSorley is on the team.
Huntley can play a bit, I think. So it's definitely Huntley. I don't want to hear Trace McSorley's name anymore.
Yeah, Huntley's interesting to me. Like, yeah, Huntley can play a little bit, man. Like, I'm interested to see how he develops. But he's the backup as far as I'm concerned. McSorley, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But then again,
and the plan is to never have to use them unless it's in some spell time.
Yeah. But Harbaugh loves McSorley though.
Don't say damn beat. Like the man came in, hiked the ball, and fell over.
Yeah. He tried to do a little juke and blew up his knee. I feel bad for him. McSorley.
I feel bad for him too. I'm not trying to laugh at him getting hurt, but man, I'm laughing at the idea of him being a backup quarterback in the NFL though.
Mr. Rose wants to know, do y'all think the Ravens are overestimating their championship window?
I don't think so. I mean, as long as you have Lamar, that window's open, period. They don't have to have the top 5 defense that they have right now. If you have Lamar, and you put talent around him, you put an O-line around him, that window's open.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, definitely. Lamar's gonna give him a shot for years to come. It's gonna be. I mean, it looks like it's going that route anyway with the Mahomes and Lamar and my man is in Buffalo and these young cats. It's looking like they're gonna give these teams a shot.
Oh, Josh Allen, yeah,
as long as they stay healthy.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, right now, today, I don't think we're a Super Bowl team.
Just although that is again not very nice at all. But all right, I'm not gonna say you're wrong.
Oh, he said Chase McSorley sucks. Huntley is okay.
No. His last comment, he says it just shows you how good Lamar is. That just trying a Lamar move may have ended McSorley's career.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't think we're a Super Bowl. I don't think we're a Super Bowl team right now. I don't. I like that we got Rashad Bateman, but he's a rookie, and you can't compare what we have on our offense to what Kansas City has, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to talk about what Kansas City, what Tampa did to Kansas City in the Super Bowl. Like, oh, look what they did to them. Look what they did to them. Held them to 9 points. But Tampa also had more talent on offense than Kansas City had, right? I mean, they had 3 top 10 wide receivers, man. You had Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown in your wide receiver core, and you have Gronk. Mm-hmm. And you had Leonard Fournette. I mean, they were stacked on that side of the ball, and they had a good O-line. So
and Ronald Jones and Cameron Brate, and they just added Gio Bernard.
Yeah. So I mean, like they had a good defense, but they had an even better offense. So they got ahead. They could stay ahead.
And speaking of Kansas City, everybody likes to point out, the O-line. Well, look, it wasn't that the O-line was an issue. Like, they had a good O-line. A lot of their guys got hurt, heading into that Super Bowl. But even still, look what they've done this offseason, right? They went out and they got Joe Thuney. They got Kyle Long. They traded for Orlando Brown. They drafted Creed Humphrey. Like, they said, hey, we can look at this and say this is the reason that we lost that game. So we're going to fix it now. And they went out and they got proven players to fix it.
Yeah. Glock says, yeah, we lost 2 pass rushers. Yeah, we did. And we drafted a pass rusher that's not ready to play in the first round.
Bro, did you guys hear his interview?
No. What did he say in the interview?
Oh my gosh, he was talking very, very big. Like, I feel I'm the best pass rusher in this draft. Okay. I've only been playing for 5 years. So all of those other guys have wear and tear on them, and I don't. I'm still learning, but I love to learn. I'm super strong. Like he was like, I mean, you like
I didn't hurt myself running in any quarterbacks
or tackling anybody.
I mean, you like the confidence, but it was like, bruh, like
I like the confidence. Yeah, I just, man, I hope he can play, man. I really do. But everything that he's shown says that he's a good athlete and not a football player.
The Ravens just took Dalen Hayes, defensive end, Notre Dame.
Okay.
17 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles in 2020.
Okay.
How many sacks?
0. And you'll really like this one, Zay. He was the 2020 Jason Witten Man of the Year recipient.
Okay, but look, I gotta clarify. I don't have a problem with good character guys. I have a problem if the first thing they say about you is speaking about your character. Then I have a problem.
Drafting role models.
You know? But he's a 3-4 DN, right? He's not an edge rusher.
Yeah.
That's that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I have a problem when they say, yeah, he's a leader. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you're not going to talk about his play. You're going to talk about his character now. Yeah. That tells me you're not really a good football player.
Garnett saying he's still curious why they didn't move up into the second round and package some deals to get some players that we need. Well, Garnett, that's because the Ravens are cheap.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing applies for the first rounds as the second round. We don't like to trade up. Right? We want more picks. We don't want less picks.
Justin Lowe came in here in a bad mood.
Good character is the same as she has a nice personality. That's true though. That's true. I say it all the time on the show. If the first thing to say about you is he's a great guy, right? High character, all that stuff, I don't want you. I don't want you. And that's not to say that I don't want good character, but I don't want that to be the first thing they say about you. When I say a name, the first thing that pops in your mind should be, man, he's nasty. You know, like you know what I'm saying? He's nice on the field. If there's just like, oh, he's a great guy, nah, I'm good.
So Glock's asking if we think Sack Daddy will step up in his third year. I'll let y'all answer that because Jose knows that I told him that was a mistake the second they drafted him.
Sack Daddy's going to blow up. How come you guys are okay with the man with no sacks sitting for 2 to 3 years and you think he's gonna blow up in his second or third year? But Mr. Sack Daddy, right? The sack champ in college football, you don't think he can get better in his third year? Watch out. Jalen Ferguson 2021, Sack Daddy. Okay, he gonna take over. He gonna hold on to that position. Watch. I believe in Sack Daddy, man.
I hope you're right, man. You know what? Like, to me, he's shown some flashes, but it's I think he has too many like mental mistakes, and that's why they don't play him as much. Because you'll see, like he'll be out there, he'll make a play or two, and then next thing you know, like they take him off the field because he might have missed an assignment or something.
Yeah. And he's too stiff. I mean,
his mental mistakes are not being able to figure out how to get his body to change directions. And that's why I told Jose the second they drafted him. Like, listen, you can't draft an edge rusher who can't turn around the edge. You can't get around the corner. You can't get to the quarterback.
I'm gonna be honest, right? Because Jalen Ferguson, before we even drafted him, I was telling you, I was like, "Yo, we need to get this guy." It was the same thing with Matt Judon. When we drafted Matt Judon, he had 22 sacks that season. 22 sacks that season. Now he played Division II, I believe. It was Division II football. But I was just like, I don't care where you're playing. If you get 22 sacks in 1 year, you just know how to get to the quarterback, right? And he came in and immediately showed that he could play. So I'm like, okay, Jalen Ferguson holds the record for most career sacks, right, in Division I. And I'm like, okay, this is a guy that knows how to get to the quarterback. So I want him. And when they showed his 3-cone drill, I was like, oh man. I was like, this man literally cannot bend his waist without falling over. I was like, oh man, I don't know. And then we drafted him. I was like, yeah, well, It is what it is. I got root for him.
Jonathan Washington says he's the Paul George of the NFL. How are you going to give yourself a nickname like Sack Daddy when you can't get to the QB? Yeah, it's true. Jonathan says he's Edge Daddy. He's nothing but an edge center. Okay.
Ellie says this is true as well. Dalen Hayes has 3 sacks last season, 3 more than Oweh.
Sounds like a steal to me. First edge rusher to be drafted in the first round with 0 sacks in more than 25 years, they said.
That's crazy.
They better get it right.
That is the last time it happened. They didn't even call them edge rushers.
That's right. So he's the first edge rusher. Then.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying about Eric DeCosta, man. You better be right on this, man. Like, stop saying in EDC we trust. That is a Ozzy thing. Like, I don't like all the confidence that they're giving EDC out the gate. Make him prove it. I'm not saying he's a bad GM, but make him prove it. They're talking like he's Ozzy, and he's not Ozzy. Like, if Jason Oweh turns out to be the next Terrell Suggs, all right, man, we go. All right,
Right.
Yeah. But let's let him become that first before we say, yeah, in the EDC we trust. This is a great opportunity for him to show that you reached on a guy that really wasn't going to go in the first round. That all he showed you was athleticism and no real tape. You get this one right, I'm gonna give you your flowers, man, for sure.
Okay, Glock asking, I think if Tavon Young gets hurt again, will the Ravens cut him? He can never play for a full season.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if he gets another season-ending injury, I mean, they'll have to, yeah.
Yeah. Joy says last time that happened, they weren't called. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think DeCosta, like, he has one job now, and he can make his mark by giving Lamar all the tools that he needs. That'll be the way that he makes his mark as the next GM of Baltimore. Until then, he'll be Ozzy's water boy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
listen. B once said that Greg Roman made his career by tying himself to exceptional black folks. Right. Mm-hmm. Right? Is that the quote? That was the quote, right?
Because I was watching the inauguration. I was like, it's just like Joe Biden, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with him necessarily on his own, but he got where he is by attaching himself to exceptional black people.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that's Greg Roman, but that can be EDC as well, right? Yeah. If he just gets Lamar his weapons and protection, he can get all the credit for what Ozzy did, because Ozzy drafted Lamar Jackson. And I keep having to remind people when they say, oh, EDC has done all this stuff. I'm like, look, none of the players that you like on this team, none of them were drafted by Eric DeCosta. They were all drafted by Ozzy.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So, and that's fine. That's fine. He set you up for success. All you have to do is just keep it going. Easy. And I'll show him love if he does that. So, just a low. What do you guys think of Tylan Wallace? I like the pick.
Yeah, everybody's calling him the next Steve Smith. I think we should probably calm down on that for a little while, but I think it's a good solid pick for Baltimore, to keep adding to that wide receiver room.
Yeah. Yeah, just a says kind of like America Brodny. Great, because attach yourself to black folks. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. He's shocked that we haven't drafted a D tackle yet. That's very unlike the Ravens.
Tell you, man, listen, just next round, Tonga.
Yeah.
Well, they got one more pick in the 5th. And by the way, how is it still the 5th round? Like, let's get it moving.
Yeah.
I watched last night and it was still long. I'm like, come on, man. Like, we don't. After the first round, and I think they need to find a way to shorten that as well. But after the first round, it should just be rapid fire after that.
Yeah, I can understand the first round because, they want to bring those guys on stage. They want to do all the interviews and everything, and let them get that moment in the sun, and it's the dreams coming true and all that. But man, I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care. You do that off camera.
When our friend Denarian got drafted, it was just like on the ticker. Like it wasn't like there was no announcement or nothing like that. Like it just passed by, And our dad was like, "Isn't that your friend?" I was like, "Yeah." I almost missed it.
Yeah, he actually on his Instagram, he actually did a recap of draft day for him. And he was like, I was at home playing video games, and he said he didn't start watching to the 4th round, and that's when the team started to call him. And then I think the 5th round started, and that's when Washington had called him, and they said, "Hey, you're gonna be our next pick." And he said he asked them for their number just in case they don't call him back. And he said they told him, "Man, just stay by the phone. You gonna be our next pick." And he said that he said they picked him, and his name came across the ticker, and then he said it went to commercial.
Yeah. Because that's back when the draft was Saturday and Sunday. It was Sunday, and me and my dad were watching ESPN, and his name came across. He's like, "That's your friend right there, right?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I would have missed it if he didn't point it out." Yeah, that's right.
Garnett said Wallace is that a jag in his opinion, just a guy. I mean, listen, probably.
Yeah,
I mean, it's late, but this is where you go for those guys where you feel like might have some upside, might not have shown everything that they have in college.
I'm okay with guys like that, that we draft. We're not spending a whole lot of money on, and they're young. I have a problem when we get those guys in free agency when it's already too late to get somebody, and it's just like, oh hey, look, we got Des Bryant. He's gonna save us, and he's really just a guy, right?
Yeah.
And we're spending money on him, and he's only going to be there for a year. Or hey, we got Michael Crabtree, right? Michael Crabtree is just a guy, and we're trying to rely on him to be the number one. If we draft a guy and we know he's just a guy, but he's solid and give a solid play, that's fine. I mean, we didn't invest a whole lot in him, and we have our top guys already.
What's the specs on this guy? I ain't even. Is he a big kid?
Which guy?
Tylan Wallace.
Tylan Wallace.
No, he's like 5'11", I think about around 180. They say he's kind of like the Steve Smith size kind of thing, and they say he's got that kind of competitive streak in him.
Steve Smith ain't 5'11".
Well, no, but I mean he's a smaller guy.
Yeah.
5'11", 194. So I'll read the pre-draft analysis here. Wallace is a tough open field runner who gets north and south and breaks tackles after the catch. He's quick off the line, smooth route runner, and is instinctive working against zone coverage looks. Wallace is a shorter target with smaller catching radius, but he has good body control, a competitor when the ball is in the air, and he makes some difficult catches.
Yeah. 5'11", 186, 4'5", 140 is what Garnett was put in there. Drafting gives more up. Okay. Jerome Bigby wants to know, what do you think of the Panthers draft so far, B?
Yeah, not thrilled. I didn't like the J.C. Horn pick at all, and not because of J.C. Horn. They should have gone Justin Fields, and if they weren't going to go Justin Fields, they should have gone Rashawn Slater there. And if they weren't going to go Rashawn Slater there, you should have taken Devontae Smith since you decided to go with Terrace Marshall in the 2nd round. Go ahead and get Devontae Smith there. Take a corner later. I was never really high on Terrace Marshall. We talked about that a lot on the show, but I mean, it's fine. That's Joe Brady's guy, I guess. So as long as his knee holds up, it's whatever. After that, not a fan of the Brady Christensen pick. Not really a fan of drafting a blocking tight end. Chuba Hubbard should be a nice compliment to Christian McCaffrey. But and to be honest, I don't know much about these last 2 defensive players that they drafted, Keith Taylor and Nixon. So we'll see on them. But I'm not exactly thrilled.
All right, couple more comments here. Jonathan Washington Jr. says, if he doesn't get drafted, I could see Ravens signing Dylan Moses as an undrafted free agent.
Crazy, because last year he was talked about as a 1st-round pick. It's one of the top middle linebackers, and he got hurt and came back to Alabama, and now he's just sitting and waiting.
Yeah. Kingbird wants to know, do we think the Ravens are Super Bowl contenders? Right now, I don't think so. I don't. I mean, go ahead.
I mean, projecting for Rashad Bateman, I think he's going to be a good player. So if he comes in and he's a consistent contributor, then yes, I think they're a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah. I don't think we're bad. We're going to be a playoff team, but like I said, I don't rely on any rookie to put us over the top, right? No matter, unless it's like Randy Moss type of rookie. You know what I mean? Rashad Bateman could be a great wide receiver, but in his rookie year, I'm not expecting him to really like carry the team. Now, yeah, we do have Hollywood for sure, and we brought in Sammy Watkins, but
well, that's my thing. Like, I don't think they were that far away. They lacked so much talent on the outside, and they've addressed that with, like I said, Watkins and Bateman. So if those guys play well, then
I'm still iffy on the O line though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm still iffy on the O line. That's why we're there. We're close. We're in the conversation right now. Today, I'm saying no, but I mean we're not done making moves yet. So we'll see how they look after training camp and all that stuff. Right now, I think we're still just a step below Kansas City and I mean Buffalo. I mean it's interchangeable with Buffalo.
Yeah.
Oh, Attitude Pop is here. What's going on, Attitude Pop? Said we missed out on Brevin Jordan. Yeah.
I mean, it just, they didn't want him.
Yeah. Just a Low says Wolf played well last year, but I didn't think we should bring him back because that money could have been used on offense. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Look, we drafted what was that D tackle's name?
Matabike.
We drafted Matabike in the third round. He was one of four players we drafted in the third round. It's time for him to step up. You know, like we're getting these young guys to replace some of these older guys, especially on that D line. Because I'm looking at Brandon Williams, Derek Wolfe, Calais Campbell. All three of them need to be gone next year, right? And it has nothing to do with their play. Just they cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
They cost a lot of money.
Just a Little says Bateman will start. Even with Harbaugh's coach, you don't draft a guy that high to not start him. Well, let me introduce you to Odafe Oweh.
Yeah.
Because they did that just 4 picks later. It's Tough Puppy. What's up, Tough?
Tough Puppy is here. What's going on? All right. Right on time, as always, Tough Puppy. Tough Puppy always comes to our live streams right when we're about to sign off.
In fact, that's how we know it's time to go.
Yeah, we're gonna hang out for a little longer, man. You didn't miss a whole lot. We're just reviewing day 1 and 2 of the draft and just kind of just keeping an eye on day 3 of the draft. But let us know how you feel about the draft so far. If you haven't put your grade in for the draft, drop it in the chat box. Let us know what you think. Oh, we got another guest in the house, Mr. David, the sports and gamer nerd. What's going on, sir?
What's going on, gentlemen? Just thinking about taking a nap here, but trying to stay up for the 6th round.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, I think that Notre Dame pass rusher was picked to give Miles Boykin somebody familiar to help him pack his bags.
Man, everybody coming from Miles' neck today. What is going on?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Everybody coming for him.
So, David, how would you grade the draft so far?
It's intriguing. I think, I don't know what to think of Tylan Wallace. I think he's definitely a steal where we got him. The problem for me is that historically, our later round pick, like if you're not a 2nd round or higher wide receiver, you're probably not going to get a real chance to play.
Right.
For the Ravens, not like in other teams.
Right.
But for the Ravens. And so I really hope we either get rid of him, like trade him, or like we actually use him, because my fear is that, like, historically, when I go all the way back to, like, what was that? Yaman Figures.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't Tory on up, right? If we don't draft you in the 2nd round and you're a receiver, not a corner, if you're defense, you'll play undrafted. I'm not worried about you on defense. But if you're a wide receiver, specifically wide receiver for the Ravens, because even our tight ends play. If he was a tight end, I'd be like, okay, cool, like tight end in the fifth or fourth
that's a
round.
good point, man. Yeah, that's a good point.
But like, if you're a receiver, you're not drafted at the lowest in the second round for the Ravens, you're not going to play. It's not like Green Bay or New Orleans. Like, if you get drafted in the fourth round, you're a receiver, you got a chance to go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but historically, you're right, man. But that's the one thing about Eric DeCosta. Like, he's made a heavy investment in wide receiver this last few years. So maybe that's starting to change a little bit.
I really hope they play the kid. Like,
it's going to come down to him and Duvernay. He's got to battle it out.
Well, the real battle is Boykin and Proche, because I feel like no, seriously, because like they're not going to carry 7.
Right. Proche's out of there, man. Proche's out. Like,
Proche is so slow. Like, like straight line speed. Like, if you look, all right, here you go. Here's my thing with Proche. I think he is the best hands on the team, actually. I think catching the ball is his real talent, and route running. The problem is, if you look at his college tape, he looks like 2013, I would say, with the 49ers, Anquan Bolden. Like, he's not creating separation.
I was about to say, it's like also N'Keal Harry. N'Keal Harry a couple of years ago, everybody loved him because he was making all those contested catches. I'm like, why isn't he just getting open? And now he's in the NFL. Right. Hey, yeah. I don't see Proche making it, man. I think he had a chance to beat out Duvernay or Boykin or Willie Snead or Des Bryant, get some play time this year, and he couldn't do it. I don't think it's there for him.
And I got a question for you guys. Sure. How do you put a straight line speed slow guy on a punt return job? What is that about?
My man's expendable.
It's somebody, because it's somebody that they know they're not going to put in the lineup. They like his character, and they're just trying to see if he can make the team on special teams. And I think they might have just drafted his replacement for that, with one of these later picks. Maybe even Tylan Wallace.
Tylan Wallace doesn't strike me as a special teamer, but he might have to learn how to play it.
Oh yeah, yeah. He doesn't have a choice in that. That's going to be one of those things. He's not, like I said, unless for Proche, Duvernay, Boykin, Wallace, they have to go in there with a Victor Cruz type of offseason to really show out to move up the depth chart or make the team. And if you're not doing that, you're gonna have to cut your teeth on special teams. Right? That's the only way you're gonna stick.
I think Duvernay's safe for another year, no matter what.
Yeah. But if he wants to, I think Duvernay, he's not going anywhere. But if he wants to crack that starting lineup, I think he's gonna have to really show out.
Yeah, if we get Julio somehow, like later on in the year,
I would love Julio.
Like realistically, like if we realistically get Julio, it don't matter what. Miles Boykin could be like Superman in the preseason, but it ain't gonna matter. Like, we get Julio, we gotta make room. Yeah. And honestly, like, we're at the point now where let me do the count in my head. So if we get Julio, it might piss off a lot of Ravens fans. It might be controversial, but
I don't see how you get. He'll easily be the best wide receiver we ever had.
I didn't say it yet. We might can get rid of Sammy Watkins.
Well, we didn't invest in Sammy Watkins. He could go.
Yeah, that's true.
1 year.
He can play his 4 games, get hurt, and then come back for the playoffs.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. Like, we don't invest a lot in our offense. So any of those guys could go. We bring in Julio Jones. It's not a matter of, well, who do we keep? I mean, you keep Julio, you keep Hollywood, you keep Bateman, because that's where you made an investment. Outside of that, you haven't made anything more than a third-round investment or a $6 million investment on everybody else. So it doesn't matter.
Bateman has to be number 1 receiver. Like, I know Hollywood has been holding it down.
Yeah.
But like, the reality is, and I know Lamar and Hollywood are like, best friends and hang out, and do things outside of football, but like Bateman has to be the number one guy, and he just does. And I think like he needs to get a little bit stronger, maybe like a little bit more weight, maybe like 6, 7, 8 pounds.
Right.
Nothing crazy, just a little bit more weight, I think, for his career, career wise, just to I don't know what the magic number is, but there's a number for each person where like a weight that you can gain without losing speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so different for every person, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever that magical number is, because man, I keep looking at Hollywood highlights, and the more I look at him, I'm like, man, it's a small dude. Like the moment his speed is gone, I know we all said the same thing about Deshaun Jackson years ago, but the moment Hollywood's speed is gone, I feel like his career is over. Because
I don't know, man. I think he's pretty skilled. I know he works on it. I think he's gonna stick for a while. Like he's not just a speed guy, in my opinion.
The Chiefs just drafted the DK Metcalf clone, Cornell Powell out of Clemson.
Oh, another slow guy.
I honestly I don't know how fast he is, but I know
he's strong.
I know he's got the muscles. That's a big dude.
Yo, our second first round pick, Oweh, whatever.
Yeah.
You ever notice that like these names are getting harder to say? Like,
yes.
The players either come from Africa or they come from the ghetto.
I saw
either way, I can't say their names no more.
I saw Kerryon Johnson was tweeting about it. He said he can't pronounce anybody's name on their defense down in Detroit.
Whatever happened to Steve Smith? Deion Sanders? You know what? Anquan Bolden started this.
But you know what though? You know what? There's always been names like that. They just Americanize their names so we can pronounce it. Like Biaka Patuka, Shamanga Biaka Patuka. Remember him?
Yeah.
They called him Tim.
Tim, yeah.
I remember
Shamanga.
They were like O.T. Umenyiora. I'm like, who? All that stuff first started happening, man. Then it's like Unique Ngakoue, and like, man, whatever happened to like, Deion Sanders? Like, why can't people just do stuff like that? Ray Lewis, like.
Just I don't think they traded out. I mean, I'm looking at the list right now, and it says they're up next. Atlanta's on the clock right now, and then Baltimore. Unless this just hasn't updated.
Yeah.
Tight end.
Yeah.
Developmental guy.
Puppy says we move on from Sammy after this year, and I think we let a youngin besides Bateman because he's wide receiver number 1 take over his spot. I could see Wallace or Duvernay taking it. Yeah, I mean, Watkins is only here for 1 year. So, yeah, I think that is the plan for these young guys to step up and take over there. So, yeah, I hope it works out.
And that's what I was really concerned about was, like, long-term contracts with our receivers because, like, people talk a lot about, and don't get me wrong, like, changing your offense. Like, remember when Flacco went through the offensive coordinator change every couple of years?
Yeah.
Changing but he had consistent receivers though. That was the thing about Flacco. For the most part, he had like a good 3 years or 2 or 3 years where it was like Torrey and Bolden and Jacoby, but he at least had Torrey and Bolden for like 3 straight years.
Yeah.
As his 1-2.
And Bolden was one of the top wide receivers in the league, right? Before he came to Baltimore. I mean, he still was. Like, he didn't have the numbers, but he was that caliber of a player. So, we need to get
Which shows you how good Larry is if Bolden's expendable.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
People don't understand how good Larry was in his prime.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, he was so good, they traded Anquan Bolden almost in his prime.
Yeah.
Like, that's how good Larry was. You know? But no, what was I saying? Yeah, so, like, having those contracts super important. I think having Hollywood and Bateman, and even if you look at Wallace, if one of those later round pick guys work out good, in particular for at least 3 years in a row.
Yes,
is going to be huge for development wise. for
And give him a
Lamar.
chance to grow with Lamar and
Yeah.
get on that same page.
Yeah, because like the blueprint for that has always been Peyton, Reggie, and Marvin.
Yeah.
Like that.
And the man who shall not be named.
Yeah.
Yeah. But keeping that together for that many years and having that kind of and basically what they switched out was the third receiver, like going from Stokely to Collie
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
That was
Gonzalez and then
yeah. Anthony Gonzalez, forgot all about him.
Mm.
That's the stuff that changed. But having those number one, number two guys, really two number ones, but
Ben
having
Mason.
those guys be consistent for like, I think he had them for what, like 5 years. It was like a crazy run with the three of them.
the Ravens just drafted a fullback.
Yeah, Ben Mason from Michigan.
They're just playing around now. Like he just they're pulling names out of a hat, letting whoever make the picks. Like Ben Mason, why? Just stop.
Because all they're doing is taking flyers, man. Like they're taking flyers. They want to see who sticks, and if any of these guys work out, they can, they know where they can replace players down the road.
No, I get taking flyers, but not on fullbacks.
Yeah.
What about tight end? Whatever happened to? I mean, I feel like they need a tight end, and it's like when I think about the veteran moves post draft, there's 3, right? And it's like I don't know which one's more realistic than the other, but basically, trade for Zach Ertz is one. Sign one of those 2 offensive linemen who came in for a visit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get Justin Houston, and if God allows us to, go ahead and get Julio.
I'll tell you exactly why we got fullback. I'll tell you exactly why. Pat Ricard came to them and said, "Look, guys, I'm tired. Right? You got me playing fullback, D tackle, tight end. Can you just pick a position?" And they said, "All right. We'll pick a position. We'll bring in a fullback."
They're like, all right. You cut.
Right.
Ricard's like, "Man, I'm tired, man. Can you just line me up somewhere and let me just grow there?"
So that is it for the Ravens in the 2021 draft. They don't have any more picks.
All right. So we got the picks. You guys look, we see all the players that have been drafted now. So what is your grade? What's your initial reaction? What grade do you give them? Mikey, give your thoughts.
So let me read out the picks real quick here.
Okay.
Before you go ahead. First round, Rashad Bateman and Odafe Oweh. That's the edge rusher from Penn State. Third round, they went Ben Cleveland, the guard out of Georgia, and Brandon Stevens, the corner from SMU. In the fourth round, they picked up Tylan Wallace, the wide receiver out of Oklahoma State. And in round 5, we got Sean Wade, corner out of Ohio State, Dalen Hayes, the defensive end out of Notre Dame, and with their last pick, Ben Mason, the fullback out of Michigan.
Okay. Ferris wants to know who the Giants drafted. Ferris, man, you were there. You know who you drafted. You want me to read off the list to you?
Man, all right. Kadarius Toney, Azeez Ojulari, Aaron Robinson, who is the corner out of UCF, and then Ellerson Smith, outside linebacker from Northern Iowa. They've got 2 picks in the 6th round.
All right, there you go. All right, Mikey, what are you going to say?
If that's their last pick, that is their last pick, right? I would have rather, take a Jake Funk or something like that. If you're going to just throw a pick out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Get
like,
the hometown kid.
Take a local kid or something if you just go throw a pick out there. But, I mean, I'll give it a B-.
Okay.
They did get a few needs, especially wide receivers, so I'm happy that they did that. Even though, like, my fingers are crossed on like the Sean Wade thing. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the kid, but he was a 4 or 5 star kid coming out of high school. So I think if it pans out, cool. It's one of those low risk, high reward moves. So that could possibly be a good pick for them. Ben Cleveland, I think you can never go wrong with that type of size. And I mean, he seems like he's gonna be a mauler, and especially in this run type offense, like he go forward, it's a wrap. Like watching this tape, man, he bulldozes people. So, but I'll give him a B-.
B. Okay. All right. What about you, David? What are your thoughts?
I think with these guys that we got, I think it's mostly depth. I think we got 2 starters in the first round. Hopefully, Rashad was my initial sort of man crush for this year's draft. So I'm happy. It's funny because I kind of like cooled off on him in the past week, and then when we picked him, it was like, okay, that's pretty awesome. But I think we got 2 starters. I think we got the rest of the guys are developmental guys, but they're good depth. I think we got good depth at every level of the draft, really. And I think, when you think about the work that Eric still has to do with veterans and free agency, I think once the puzzle is complete, we're going to look at this draft as extremely strategic. And I'll probably give it as of right now. For me, the key to this draft is Wallace.
Yes.
How do we use Wallace? If Wallace becomes like, a number 3, then I feel like this draft is an A minus, let's say.
Okay.
And if he doesn't, then, it might be like a B or something. Because then we follow that same path, the Justin Harpers and so forth, the Marcus Smith. So that's how I look at it.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna read some of these comments real quick, man. King Bird gives it a C minus. Tough Puppy gives it an A minus. King of Pugo says B minus overall. All right. Solomon Reed says a C. G Star 007 says B only because of Bateman and Cleveland. All right. Ravens Flock says B. All right. So yeah, got some mixed opinions there. Donovan Sells says C, and Attitude Pop says B minus. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna give it a C, man. I'm gonna give it a C. And like David said, man, depending on how they use some of these players and how Oweh develops, the key is Oweh, right? In my opinion, if Oweh develops into a good edge rusher, this is easily going to be an A class, right? Because I believe highly in Rashad Bateman. I think Ben Cleveland is going to take that starting job, and I think he's going to play well. So I think we got 2 good players there. And Tylan Wallace, we'll see if he turns out to be at least a good contributor, and we get something out of Oweh. Yes, give this class an A. But if Oweh turns out to be a bust, that's a high pick to use on a guy that you knew wasn't a good player coming out, just athletically gifted, and you're taking on a project. So I gave that pick individually an F right now until he develops, because that's just too high of a pick to take a project on. So my opinion could change, but right now I'm gonna give it a C.
And I see Tough Puppy there saying he believes in Oweh and he went to one of the few teams that can develop him. And I don't agree with that, man. Like if that were the case, they wouldn't have needed to draft an edge rusher this week.
Yeah.
You got Correa, Bowser, Williams, what's his name? The Jalen Ferguson, and you're not developing these guys. Those are 4 high picks. And everybody's like, hey, man, we have a major hole at edge rusher.
Yeah.
There have been times where you can say, oh, they got the guys later in the draft. But Judon, he contributed from day one. They didn't develop him. Zadarius Smith, I think, even before Baltimore took him, a lot of people said that he was the better guy between him and Bud Dupree. And then you could get him a little bit later. So I'm not sure how much development they did with him either. I don't really believe in Baltimore's ability to develop edge rushers. We'll see with Oweh. I hope he works out. But in terms of this draft, I think I'm a little more optimistic on it just because of how poorly Carolina's draft went. So I'm gonna give them a solid B. I think they got 2 day 1 starters in Bateman and Cleveland. I think they're gonna make a good impact on the team.
We'll give you a grade for the Panthers too, man. We got some Panthers. We got some Panthers viewers in here. Give you a grade. Give you a grade so far.
The Panthers, the Panthers aren't done yet. But right now, so they took J.C. Horn in the first, Terrace Marshall in the second, Brady Christensen in the third, Tommy Tremble in the third, Chuba Hubbard in the fourth, Davion Nixon and Keith Taylor in the fifth, and they've got 3 6th-round picks and 1 more coming in the 7th. I'm going to give them a C- so far.
Okay.
I don't, you're trying to make up for it with quantity, but they should have gone with Justin Fields. If not Justin Fields, then it should have been Rashawn Slater. They're ignoring the biggest hole on the roster, which is the offensive line. So even if you believe in Sam Darnold, you're setting him up to fail in that scenario. And I just wasn't very high personally on Terrace Marshall. So I'm, you're not getting too many points for that one from me either. And, I'm laughing at Baltimore drafting a fullback here, but, they did it in the 5th and Carolina did it in the 3rd with their blocking tight end. So, kind of is what it is. I'm not very happy with Carolina's draft, but I think Baltimore did well this week.
Okay. And I'm going to read this comment from Jonathan Washington Jr. It says, A+++ EDC outdid himself on this one. So much talent and depth. Oweh got to the QB better than anyone on the collegiate level. He did?
Did he? Well, did he get? You mean he got into the vicinity of the QB better than anyone? Because he didn't get to him at all.
Are we talking about different Oweh? Right. Shaun Wade is a top 5 cornerback in this draft. Ben Mason, the next Kyle J for us. Are you joking?
Tough puppy.
He got another comment where he says, "No, I'm just playing." Ravens get like a B-.
That's what you joking.
Tough puppy wants to know if we just hate everybody. We're like, nah, man. Like, just pick better players. So, I like a lot of players in this draft. None of them went to Carolina.
Tough puppy, who do you love? Who do you love? He says, always different than them. Remember this, Brodny. All right.
I mean, okay, like if by different you mean worse coming out, yeah, and a bigger investment.
You know what the problem is? Oweh looks like, and I ain't gonna lie, like straight up. When I saw this dude as a physical specimen, he looked like, you know how when Bruce, is it Bruce Banner, Incredible Hulk? Yeah. You know how when Incredible Hulk is like mid-transformation? Yeah. It's like not quite fully green, but light green. Yeah. Like, he looks like that to me. I saw him training. I was like, holy crap. Like that dude looking like if he does get to the quarterback, he's going like rip his arms off like Mortal Kombat.
Like, maybe he's out there. Maybe he was sparing those guys on the collegiate level.
Yeah, man. Mikey, I know your boy Quan is not here. Another member of the OTR crew. He is a Washington fan. Mm-hmm. I know if he were here, his grade would be an A+ because that's the only grade that Washington fans know how to give their team. David, we did a live stream on day 1. They drafted Jamin Davis. He had no idea who Jamin Davis was. He was like, his initial reaction was not a good reaction.
He froze.
And then about 30 minutes later into the stream, he's just like, you know what? We got the best linebacker in the draft. Like, he totally convinced himself. That he's the best linebacker in the draft. And then he called me yesterday and argued with me, Mikey. He argued with me saying Jamin Davis is better than Zaven Collins. And I said, no, he's not. And he's like, how could you say that? I'm like, it hasn't even been 24 hours. You didn't even know who he was 24 hours ago. Right. And you're convinced that he's the best linebacker in the draft.
Which means you've done homework on the other linebackers in the draft.
Which he didn't.
Right.
But shout out to Quan. I already know he's going to give it an A+. So Quan, I got you, bro. You gave it an A+.
Tough Puppy says, I think Shaun Wade was an underrated pick. When Tavon Young goes down again, we'll love this pick because I don't want Bonds starting again. Well, I mean, Bonds is gone. Baltimore is already the deepest team in the league at corner.
And we got Anthony Averett, too. Anthony Averett got hurt, too.
Yeah, it's nothing against Shaun Wade. Like, that's fine. That's a fine pick. My problem with that pick is that they just don't have roster spots for corners, and they drafted 2 corners. That's the only thing there. So, I mean, in terms of his talent, like, it's fine. What's up, David?
No, I was going to say Tavon. I was thinking about him a couple of days ago and just thinking about his injuries and so forth. And I think this is a make or break off season for Tavon. I think they think that they'll probably do like what do you call this thing, like injury settlements?
Yeah.
Because Tavon fully healthy is a Pro Bowl nickel, but man, just the bad luck he's had over the past few years. It's just been really horrible to watch for a player that talented.
Yeah,
It's unfortunate, but it goes to show you the faith that they have in him that they keep bringing him back. I mean, they restructured his deal, I think, this last offseason, but for the most part, he's got his money.
Yeah, he got paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of Sean Wade, they just showed him getting destroyed by the kid Powell from Clemson.
there you
So
Powell's a strong dude. He's not fast.
It's that's I mean, like, you know, I watch. I like Michigan, but I also watch the local team. So I also watch Maryland, and you know, I watch a lot of Big Ten football, and it seems like every time I watch Wade against a top flight wide receiver, man, he gets beat, and it's like, I mean, he almost gets beat like a drum. And you know, I remember saying during the season, like, yo, this kid, like, he gets the hype. You know, they name him as one of the top corners in the nation, but that's just me. But I mean, you know, I hope it does work out. He has some talent. Maybe he just needs some refinement or something like that. But
yeah,
I wouldn't hang out hat on this kid just yet.
You know what it is too, though? Like, you know, he's probably coming out of college. He's probably going against the opposing team's number one guy.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes to us, he's going to be like the number 3, 4.
That's true.
Corner. So maybe that'll help with at least initial development, right? And the confidence that he can match up a little better with, like, you know, NFL, say like 4th receiver is maybe like a college 2nd receiver, let's say. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But at least with those other guys that we got ahead of him, you know, pushing him down the depth chart is probably the best thing for him to develop and get that confidence.
Yeah,
definitely.
No, Tough. You acting different today, okay?
Tough Puppy, he's just telling jokes, man. Tough Puppy out here talking about we acting different. No, you being different, showing up early.
I'm talking about 2020. This year, he was getting.
Yeah, he's asking about 2020 and 2019. Yeah, 2020. Look, Tough Puppy don't know who he is, man. He just talking.
It's nothing against Sean Wade. It's just y'all got corners.
Yeah,
you got holes elsewhere that they could have filled.
How big is Powell?
Powell, I mean, he's a I don't remember a height, but he's just a little over 200 pounds. He just looks like really rocked up.
Oh, okay.
All muscle.
Yeah,
he's a big boy.
They just showed highlights of Ben Mason, and he's definitely a clone of
Braun Strowman.
No, I'll fall back now.
I was looking at him. I was like,
yeah. They used them the same way and wore the same number and everything. Like, just watching this highlight, I'm like, okay, so they see the same guy. Okay.
Yeah, wait, hold on, because Ricard, did they extend him, or is he?
He did. I thought he did get extended, didn't he?
Oh, okay. I'm about to say.
Listen, you gotta learn.
Like, hold up, he made a couple Pro Bowls here. I don't know if he want to pay for that.
So I mean, who knows what the plan is with that? But yeah, Michigan was using them the exact same way.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe just rotational purposes, or you know, maybe they do want Ricard to play one particular position more, because I mean, he played a little tight end too.
Yeah.
Right? So if they don't go and get a tight end, maybe they're thinking, hey, Ricard, you can be more of a mainstay at tight end or fullback, and the other guy could do the other. I don't know.
Tough Puppy, did you give this draft an A- only because they drafted Sean Wade? Ain't nobody talking about Sean Wade, man. Like, it's fine. He's a day 3 pick. They got him in the 5th round. Like, that's not why the grades were a little lower than you were hoping for.
Tough Puppy.
We didn't get enough surefire starters, I think. Outside of the 1st round.
Yeah,
I will agree with Tough Puppy on that, though. I think he did. I will give him that. I think he did move from the inside to the outside, and it showed. I'm just saying it showed. You know what I mean? But if he's going to be in the slot, and like David said, you know, he went from guarding that in college on the college level, the best receiver on that team, on this level, he'll be guarding the third or fourth at best. You
Man,
know,
he ain't gonna be guarding nobody. He ain't getting on that field.
But I'll say this: there is definitely going to be some competition there, and by the start of the season, there should be guys out there that have fought their way onto the lineup, and we should be getting guys that are out there trying to ball to keep their job, right? Like because they know the competition is thick. For wide receiver, DB, and at least the interior O line, because we have a lot of guards, right? Yeah. And not everybody's gonna make it there either. So we should be getting the best play out of these guys. So this is a big year. This is a big year for this offense.
One thing we're not talking about too much is the fact that with the depth, I think, in the background looming for every team is 17 games.
Yes.
And so the risk of injury goes up. You're going to need maybe however many corners.
That's a good point.
However many at whatever position, just because of the 17-game season plus the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think it would be nice if the NFL increased their roster size a little bit.
They should have. Yeah.
Just a little bit to accommodate, just extra pounding. But it's you can never have enough depth, and you don't know who anybody is until they get in the game.
Yeah.
So Tuck Puppy says it's okay that my quarterback sucks. It's all right. Listen, you're not gonna hurt my feelings saying Carolina quarterback sucks. I bet it hurts that you got Lamar Jackson and can't get out the second round though. I bet that feels real bad in January, doesn't it?
Horrible.
It does. It really does. So, all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say Carolina, man, shout out to them going back probably over a decade. Well, really for me, I'll be honest with you guys, for me, ever since they came into the league, they've had the best uniforms. I love the Panthers outfit, especially the black with the slight blue on it. They always look, those old Steve Smith jerseys and stuff, man.
You destroyed Tough Puppy, B. You destroyed them. But yeah.
Listen, if you're not going to play good, you got to look good.
They always look good to me. I always thought they had the best uniforms. I thought Ravens were pretty good too, but Carolina just got, I don't know.
I actually kind of prefer Baltimore's older logo, the one that it was like the beat had the wings. I kind of prefer that to their current one, but they still look good now. They still look good.
They do.
Yeah, they look good too, but Carolina always had that. I don't know how to explain it. Especially the black outfit they got.
Yeah.
Black jersey. That's fire to me.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna finish up this. Panthers are making the pick.
Yep.
All right. Well, yeah.
Oh boy. My guy Hamsa's gone. He went to the Jets. So
Hamsa.
What about Terry, the wide receiver from Florida State, the big boy?
Dante Brown, guard, Alabama.
Oh, nice. I do like that.
Okay.
I do like that one.
B, would you like to amend your grade?
It's a solid C. I like it now. But which wide receiver, David?
Terry, Florida State, the big boy, 6'3", 6'4".
I'm not sure if he is available. Let me see here. Tamarian Terry, he is still available.
That boy's I don't know if you guys seen his highlights, but he's a threat.
Yeah.
He's still out there. We'll see where he ends up.
Just a low with the fun fact here. Did you guys know that Travis Taylor was 5th all time in wide receiver yards for the Ravens to this day?
That's horrible, man. About to make me throw up my lunch. That's horrible, man.
You know why? Because Travis Taylor was one of those players where we kept on thinking next year he'll be better.
Yeah. Yep.
He didn't play bad enough where you're like, yo, he's a bum. You're just like, yeah, next year he's gonna break out. I'm telling you, watch. Next year he's gonna break out. And he stuck around for way too long.
He did win some Madden games for me.
Yeah.
Where did they take Travis Taylor? Was it top 15?
I think so. He was high, man. He was a high pick. Yeah. So
You ever
yeah.
notice how Bateman is the first like X that we ever took in the first round?
Yeah, I think
Think
so.
about like Clayton and even Hollywood. You guys are slot size.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark.
He's a
Well,
smaller.
Perryman. What was Perryman? Wasn't Perryman an X?
Perryman
Oh,
was
right. I forgot about
I forgot about
nothing.
Perryman
Did,
too.
did he ever play for the Ravens?
That's crazy.
He's still day to day?
Yeah.
Kevin White
Yeah.
still playing?
Oh man, that hurt my
Oh.
feelings. Kevin White, man. I thought he was gonna be the man.
Kevin White
Yeah.
got out of the league quick.
Yes. Yeah. Oh man.
And I
Kevin
want to
White.
say, I want to be like, yeah, he got a lot of injuries and that, but I think he was just bad.
That dude was like Mr. Glass from
Yeah.
that movie called Unbreakable.
Unbreakable. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Good grief, that boy got hurt.
Bad.
Like, man, stop eating bad, man. Eat vegetables or something.
It was almost like
Nah,
a
man.
foot or something like that, right?
Chad Johnson said, you eat fast food, you don't get hurt.
That's right. Yeah.
Talent freak.
You build a callus. But all right, you guys give tell everybody where they can find you. We're gonna end the stream here pretty soon. But David, final thoughts and tell people where they can find you.
Final thoughts is I think this was a depth draft for us for sure. I think we got our number one receiver finally. And I don't know what to think about the Incredible Hulk that we got 31. Jury's still out. But overall, it's a good depth draft. Appreciate you guys. You can find me at David the Sports and Gamer Nerd. I'm on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter. So we discuss sports, basically, video games, and just like nerd culture in general.
Make sure you guys subscribe. LBHT crew. It only takes a second to go over to these channels and subscribe. Go over to David and Sports and Gamer Nerd. Type it in. He'll pop right up. Hit that subscribe button. Do it now. Do it right now. Right now.
Hashtag David SGN.
Hashtag David SGN. All right. He's got some merch too. Check out his merch. All right. David, I appreciate you, man, coming through.
Appreciate
Mike.
you guys.
All right, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right.
Mike, real quick, man. Final thoughts and tell people where they can find you.
Final thoughts, man. I mean, I guess it's a solid draft. Like everybody's saying, I'm glad they took a wide receiver. I hope Bateman turns out. But like we said on opening night, I would have liked to see them package some picks and move up and go get one of the guys that we feel would have been surefire day one, number one type talent. But I agree with you, Jose. I think the jury is out. And what will make this, what would really, really make this draft is how Oweh pans out.
Yes.
Hopefully they make a liar out of all of us.
Yeah.
But solid draft, man. I have faith ultimately in the front office there, but they scare me a few times during this time of year. So, but I do think that they're not done. That I expect some moves, some post June 1 moves, and some other signings. So ultimately, it was a solid draft. We'll see how it goes.
Bet. Tell people where they can find you.
So man, I'm 1/4 of Off the Record Podcast. You can find us on all your streaming platforms. We also have a sports version of the show called OTR Sports, and you can find us on this here platform here at Off the Record Podcast. Follow me on Twitter personally at OTR_Mike, or you can follow the podcast on Twitter at OTR_pod. And we follow back and we support and we subscribe and we do all of that. So yeah, check us out, man.
Yeah.
Tough. Why are you adding me? Everybody said they hated that pick. Thanks for coming on, Mikey.
Hey, appreciate you, Mike.
Man. Anytime, guys, man. I'll holler at you.
All right, man. And like I said, man, make sure. Yeah, okay, Tough. That's what I want to see. Tough. That's what I want to see. Sub to both of them. Yeah, make sure it takes a couple of seconds, man. Go in there, subscribe, man. Show love, man. These are people in our circle, right? And the LBHT crew, man. We're strong. We want to show that we're a tight knit community. So, man, we gotta make sure we support each other. All right. And we really appreciate you guys, man. all the love you've shown us up to this point. You know, we're still new to this, and you guys have really been following along and supporting. So I'm gonna plug this one more time before we get out of here, man. Patreon.com/LBHT show. If you haven't signed up yet, man, you're missing out. We give extra content on there every Wednesday after our live show. We do a overtime show. You come in there and hang out, and we have a lot of fun. We talk about anything and everything, whatever you want to talk about. It's, you know, we have a good time on there. So, you know, that plus we're going to be doing Pick'em League and Fantasy Football League when the season starts. And we have our limited Founders coins. All right. They come in a box like this, but he just dropped his.
That's all right.
So I'm going to show it one more time.
But check it out, though. It's still good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy. All right. So a few people in here got it. I know Ferris got his. And see, he's telling you right now, OT is wild. Overtime is wild. It is a lot of fun. And we turn up in there. So that's one way to support. And right above B, $LBHT show is the Cash app. In fact, let me change this graphic.
You like it. I know you like it. Why don't you sign up for one? I'll get it in the mail tomorrow. Well, no, Monday.
But yeah,
my man said he don't care about production.
Yeah. But $LBHT show is the Cash app, right? We use that as our super chat, or if you just want to show some love, go ahead and drop a donation, leave a comment, and we'll read it on air. And also right below on the ticker, that's our merch, lbhtshow.com/shop. By the way, lbhtshow.com, we have articles on there as well. We also put our podcast on there. So, you know, just go to the site, take a look, see if there's something on there that you like.
You just made an enemy for life, Tough Puppy, talking about Lawrence Taylor.
Wait, what do you say about Lawrence Taylor?
He said, we're going to be Lawrence Taylor off the edge.
And look, hey, Tough Puppy, I like the confidence. And I hope that turns out to be true. So,
I know, Ferris. I'm gonna be watching. And to answer your question, we do not know yet. We're gonna, we're gonna do a little poll of the patrons, see if you want to do a redraft league or a dynasty league or what have you.
Yeah, I'm thinking for the first year, just make it a basic league, and so people can get a feel for it. And then if everything goes well, we'll take it up from there, because there's all kinds of options when it comes to fantasy football. So we're still discussing things, but it's gonna be fun. All right, B. Anything else you want to tell the people before we get out of here?
No, I think that's about it.
All right, y'all. Man, we've been streaming for almost 3 hours. I was not planning on going for 3 hours today, but yeah, man, it was fun. And maybe we'll cut up some videos or do something else, and be on the lookout for on Monday for a video. And Wednesday night is our live show. We'll have more to talk about. I'm sure we'll be talking some more draft stuff. And yeah, that's it. So we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.